Training Camp Special, live from Loyola Marymount University. And today, as we get you ready for the full season of Rams football, Day 3 of Rams Training Camp and a very special show. Our Rams Training Camp Special on 710 ESPN, hosted by the voice of the Rams, J.B. Long.
Back shoulder, Cooper Kupp's got it! Cooper Kupp brings it in! Touchdown, L.A.!
And Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. JB and DeMarco have you covered on this Saturday with all the sights, the sounds, the accoutrement from Rams Training Camp.
Today, the road back to the Super Bowl begins.
Hi, this is Coach Sean McVay. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
By the way, we will see today if JB Long pays back our afternoon man, Scott Kaplan, Cappy, with a little impersonation.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, DeMarco and I will be here Saturday with 3 hours to ourselves.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. That's a lot of talk real estate for me to come up with some Cappy Cap. Just drive around and keep your radio on.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Go. Yeah.
Hey,
you'll be in the show.
Let's do it. Party, party, oh party at Rams Training Camp. Our Rams Training Camp Special on 710 ESPN kicks off right now.
This is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
On your home of Rams football.
Live from LMU and the practice field of Rams Training Camp with DeMarco Farr. Here is the voice of your Los Angeles Rams,
Up and on.
Oh. Look who they gave the keys to. Look out. Oh, boy. Get off the road and the sidewalk. Here we go. Reunited, and it feels so good. Yes, DeMarco Farr and J.B. Long. The Rams are on the field, set for their fourth workout, third official open to the public day of Rams camp here at LMU and on your home for Rams football 710 ESPN. We should mention our friend and colleague Maurice Jones-Drew is with us today as well, representing NFL Network.
With a beard.
If we can pull him over a couple of tenths, we could really kick this season off together.
Look at him over there. He's stuck. Can't move. He's frozen with a beard.
Did you hear the impersonation story that started this day at LMU?
No. Impersonation story?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like an imposter?
So earlier this morning, so just to give you a geolocation, we're in Westchester here. We're in West Los Angeles, the natural air conditioning of the sea breeze on a sunny day.
I am so jealous. This
capacity crowd is here.
Excellent place for training camp. Yeah.
But at the corner of Loyola Boulevard and 80th, this entrance to campus, the south entrance, is blocked off. You're only allowed to enter off of Lincoln.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the area.
That's the way we got in, right?
Well, early this morning, a black limousine pulls up to the south gate, and someone says, I need to be let in. I'm Maurice Jones-Drew.
You got to be kidding me.
So our friend and our leader and our boss, Jory Hirsch, gets a call saying MJD is apparently here. He knows not to enter that gate. In fact, why would he be entering that gate?
Right.
He's already been to practice once. So Jory calls MJD and says, one, why are you here so early? And did you show up in a limousine? And MJD says, what are you talking about? I'm at home. I'm not going to be there until 11.
Oh, my God.
Which leads us to deduce that someone had the idea to pull up to Rams camp, sold out Rams camp.
Yes.
And their method for gaining entry was to impersonate MJD.
To pretend to be Maurice. Is that guy? Let's look in the crowd. I hope they look something close to him.
Now I want to see the campus footage to see the build, the style. I mean, he had the foresight to rent a black car.
But wouldn't that be Mojo showing up in a limo, though? I mean, straight from LAX.
That's what I thought.
From God knows where.
That's what I thought.
That's what I'm saying.
He
shows up in a limo.
Flown in this morning.
Yes.
And he probably just goes uber black, and lo and behold, what pulls up on the curb at LAX?
That's awesome.
Like an old school limousine.
Is he going to come over and hang out?
Well, I think he needs to confirm or deny this story, whether or not we ever got to the bottom of it.
It might have been
him. But that's how we begin this Saturday at training camp at LMU. Great to be with you, my friend.
How about this? This is like the world's biggest HD TV, and we got practice right in front of us. I mean, usually we have to get up and walk around to see each position group. Now we get to sit here and talk to each other. But the world gets to hear it now.
It is a different feel compared to UC Irvine, where we've been in recent seasons. And since the Rams came back to Los Angeles for that 2016 campaign, I think the first thing you notice is that there's just one field and a central location with ample room for the other drills and exercises they need to go through. But in terms of the fan experience, if you are able to be here,
Rampage,
great sight lines.
Rampage. What's going on, big fella? Good to see you. You like this better than Irvine? Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Now, that would be a real radio segment. Do you think you could get through 12 minutes of you and Rampage?
With Rampage? Yeah, we talk all
on
the
radio.
time. We talk all the time
We've
before
had
the games. Yeah.
Bailey from the NHL, from the Kings on before.
This is the great Emily, producer, by the way.
Hi, guys. But Bailey just beat a drum the entire
The whole time?
as her answers or his answers. So it was pretty great.
Once for yes, twice for no?
Yeah.
What kind of
that.
ratings did you get on that segment? Did you take a look?
Highest ratings we've ever had, probably.
Through the roof.
Dude, this is so cool. Coach Aubrey Pleasant is right in front of us. One of the better coaches in the National Football League. I mean, I love this staff. Don't you love this coaching staff? So dynamic. They're at the forefront of everything football, and I love it. But just watching him coach, it's amazing, the stuff he comes up with and how he helps guys get better. And the thing I love most about him is he coaches everybody the same, from your all-pros down to your undrafted rookie free agents. They all get it. They all get coached very, very hard with the same enthusiasm. That is awesome.
His position group's on Front Street this summer, are they not?
Yeah, a little bit. You know what? I mean, it's the same as having, almost the same comfort of having Matthew Stafford as your quarterback. It's funny when you wake up in the morning and you know you have a good quarterback. Because we know the opposite when you don't. It's like, oh, God, here comes Sunday again. But this is like, yay, Sunday's coming. But when you have a coach like this, no matter what scheme you're playing, you know whatever 4 guys you throw, or 5 if you're playing nickel, they're all going to be on the same page. And they're all going to pursue to the football. And they're all going to fight. If you get just that versus anybody, even if you're overmatched, you have a chance on Sunday to win a football game.
Aubrey working with the secondary as the players warm up for another day of workouts here at LMU with DeMarco Farr, JB Long. We'll get to quite a bit here over the next 3 hours. Did they really give us 3 hours?
3 hours. Yeah. That's not enough.
Normally we have to pry 3 segments out
JB,
of their hands to
we
get
talk about
Rams
football.
All Access in.
We talk about football, you and Maurice, from the day we leave on a road trip. From Wednesday to Sunday, we're talking about ball. So 3 hours is definitely not enough, but we can fill it, though.
43 days until Detroit, in case you're counting. And the Week 1 kickoff against the Lions, the rematch of last year's wild card primetime showdown. And that means Matthew Stafford, who had his contract adjusted in anticipation of this camp, will be going back to the Motor City. My question for you today
I like adjusted. I want my contract adjusted.
Yes. I want you to read those tea leaves for me. But I also want to talk about it in the context of Jordan Love of the Packers and Tua Tagovailoa of the Dolphins getting record-setting extensions. So, where does Stafford fall in that framework, especially knowing that Dak Prescott of the Cowboys is likely next? And then even zooming out a touch more, because I think it's now fair conversation to wonder if Matthew Stafford is, at this juncture, a Hall of Famer. And if not, marginally, what more must he do this season to make sure that path to Canton is a bit more clear?
I think he's a Hall of Famer. I really do. He's got the championship. He's going to have the numbers. I think when he left Detroit and he came here, you actually get to see what he can do with a team that's loaded. When a team that should win a championship, what he could do with that, and they won here in Los Angeles. So I think he's going to make it. But it's funny. When you bring up guys like Phillip Rivers, and to me, it's like with his numbers and the way he played, put the guy in. You know what I mean? He's probably going to go in. When you consider who's already gone in, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But then you hear, conversations or arguments to the negative, and I'm shocked by it. Like, wow, really? So this guy in years past has gotten in with kind of an iffy resume, but Phillip Rivers is head and shoulders above him stat-wise, and he's a no. So I don't know. To me, watching him play, Matthew Stafford, one of the best arm talent guys we've ever seen. He is a tough competitor, and he's already won a ring. So however you feel about Aaron Rodgers, you should feel the same about him. Because the only thing that stops Matthew Stafford from being Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. You know what I mean?
Did you hear what Aaron Rodgers said this morning, by the way?
What did he say?
He reacted to the Jordan Love extension. And, of course, that's pertinent because he preceded Jordan. And there was the Farr to A-Rod passing of the torch, which was not exactly seamless. Likewise, Aaron's reported discomfort with the fact that the Packers may have squandered a couple of MVP seasons by taking his heir apparent rather than investing in his receiving core deep in his Packers career. But all that to say, he did do the right thing and congratulate Jordan on that record-setting extension. And then he just happened to slip in, hey, don't spend it all at once. Save some for a rainy day. unless you're still looking for a permanent residence in the greater Green Bay area, in which case I'll remind you that my home, speaking Aaron Rodgers, that my home is still very much up for sale.
That's brilliant.
So now he's trying to offload his home on his successor.
I'm assuming Aaron Rodgers has a large house, right?
There's probably
has to.
Probably
else
not a
is gonna
huge
buy that?
market
Right.
for Aaron Rodgers' former residence.
Who else is going to buy it?
In the
So,
greater
yeah, you can do him a
Green
solid.
Bay area.
But yeah, Jordan Love, Tua Tagovailoa, and I think I had this combo with Cap, and we're going to get to him later.
Who?
That guy. Scott Stafford versus Goff to win the #1 job. Stafford would win it. Jared's very, very good. Stafford just has that secret sauce, that little extra that can get you over the hump when plays break down. So it's a little bit different. So going back to the Jordan Love and Tua conversation, they're making more money than anyone, than veterans right now. If you had that same sort of competition, I am not sure. I don't know. Their upside, their mobility, the modern NFL, they may fit this game a lot better than he does right now. But on any given Sunday versus just about anybody, Matthew Stafford can beat any quarterback on the field.
Well, they're
That
like a
makes any
growth.
sense.
They're a growth stock.
Yeah.
They're getting paid because they're young, because their franchises drafted them and invested in them, and they've shown some positive returns.
Yes.
But they're getting paid on future potential, not based on resume accomplishments so far.
Correctamundo. And that's what the market bears right now. That's just the way it is. Remember way back when Sam Bradford was drafted and was paid franchise money before he threw pass #1. That's just the way it went at the time.
Before the rookie scale was instituted.
It changed. This is just quarterback money is gone in 2024.
I want to say one thing, DeMarco, about your Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame. I think he should go to the Hall of Fame, but I do want to see him make another deep run in the playoffs. So far, we've seen one deep run, obviously, that ended in a Super Bowl, which obviously should take you another step to the Hall of Fame. But I want to see him win a couple more games in the playoffs because before he came to the Rams, he didn't have a playoff win. So, I think that there's levels of greatness that can be defined by showing up in the big moments. And obviously, he can't do that all by himself, especially on the Lions. But I want to see it this year. I want to see it next year. I want to see him go deep.
So that's the other argument with Jared Goff. Okay, it wasn't just when Jared stepped foot in Detroit, they became better. They made a conscious effort to turn that team around. They have done a great job rebuilding Detroit, so it's not just him. But I agree. I'm with you 100%.
Are you old enough to remember when Matthew Stafford had not so much as won a playoff game?
No.
And that was the knock on him? Now he is a Super Bowl champion, and Emily, to your point, I think that is his greatest resume bullet point. We're no longer in an era where you can just rely on counting stats and say, okay, he's thrown for this many yards and this many touchdowns, build his bust. Because on the other side of the equation, he's never been a first-team All-Pro. He's never had an All-Pro honor. In fact, he went from a one-time Pro Bowler to a now three-time Pro Bowler with the Los Angeles Rams. So he's trending in the right direction, but I think he has to have some combination of these successes, either another deep run and team accolades and accomplishments, and or, hopefully both, an MVP caliber season, a first team, second team All-Pro honor. Because what you don't want is for him to be in that congestion of Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, I think is probably his closest peer based on chronology, and say, well, Matt Ryan didn't win a Super Bowl, but his Falcons collapsed in epic fashion. He had almost done his part to get them there, and he won an MVP. So in terms of being among the best at his position in a golden era of quarterbacking, he was, and maybe Stafford wasn't. Now, I think what was so special about last year, and I'll save this for when we do a deep dive on Matthew's peers and whether he is or is not in later in this show, is he has recaptured the imagination of the football cognoscenti. Like the throws that he made last season went viral in a way that only Patrick Mahomes has melted the internet previously or in a modern fashion. And I think that will serve him well because game recognized game. And if you ask the people who play between these lines, they will all give you the thumbs up on Matthew's Hall of Fame chances. All right, we're just getting started. Matthew's not the only one on the verge of cementing his place in history. Sean McVay is closing in on the top spot in the Rams franchise list of most regular season wins. It's within striking distance here in 2024, and we are counting down to kickoff 43 days away in Detroit. Live here from LMU on a 77-degree afternoon with Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. JB along with you for the next 3 hours. It's the Rams training camp special. Live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
The speed limit or a lot. you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't miss Trav and Slee.
Back Monday morning at 10 a.m. It's the Mid-Morning Spectacular.
Goobers were a movie theater snack that you could get when I was a kid. They're just chocolate-covered peanuts, but they're called Goobers. And they had Goobers at the movie that Slee and I went to last night.
I didn't have much.
I gave a few to Deshay, and I ate the rest of the box.
Yeah, I was like, Trav, look, I've been eating well lately. He's like, no, absolutely. And then he's just taking down the box.
Trav and Slee, weekdays after Unsportsmanlike.
On 710 ESPN.
Back in 30.
At Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester CVT for just $299 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. SH $4097.39. MSRP $31,793. $28.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SFB-01.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams training camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMarco Farr and JB.
Up and on.
Mookie Betts just pulled up, so you know it's a big day here at LMU, DeMarco
Is
Farr.
that Mookie Betts right there? Can we, pause the show so we can go say hi to Mookie? Please? No? That's I'm a fan over here. Yeah, I'm
a lot
about
of
to mark out.
crossovers this week. We've had Kings representatives.
Yeah.
We've had members of the Arsenal Football Club. They're playing a friendly later tonight at SoFi Stadium against Manchester U. Emily's applauding.
I'm a huge Arsenal fan.
Are you really?
I'm excited. I didn't end up being able to go tonight, but I know that.
Did we get in your way? Did you have prior commitments?
No, it wasn't necessarily this, but it's like I'm excited to see. I want to see them again. Maybe next year. I'm sure they're coming every year because of Stan owning SoFi Stadium and Arsenal. But yeah, I'm very shell shocked, or not shell shocked, but excited to see Arsenal here. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to be here today on a fantastic Saturday afternoon. DeMarco and I are situated on about the 20-yard line, just off one of the sidelines here on a single-field layout at LMU for Rams training camp. And my eyes are drawn to the fact that this is the special teams portion of practice. And, DeMarco, there's no greater area of growth anywhere in the National Football League than the kicking game for the Los Angeles Rams.
It's going to be chaos. I mean, we were talking last segment, and I lost my train of thought because Ethan Allen was out there, and he got a hold of one. And I think it went beyond the lights up here. I mean, as far as how high it went. And it's just, dude, he could be such a weapon. I know. It's so funny when we do the coaches show, that's the last thing Sean McVay wants to talk about is the punter.
Right.
But sometimes we have to. I get it. When the punter comes out, that means you failed in a certain respect. But dang, I love watching this kid go about his business.
Ethan Evans set for his second season. He was part of the rookie class last season in which all 14 drafted players made the roster. They're also still with the Rams here this summer in camp. The Rams drafted 10 rookies this time around from their draft house in Hermosa Beach. We'll see if they can go 10 for 10 in 2024.
We should start writing this list down because this group right here needs to improve big time. The punt unit. How many big returns did they allow that just ruined games?
The biggest at Baltimore, the walk-off winner.
Yeah, I mean, this group here needs to improve the most of any right now. And that's always going to change that punt team. That is an elite group. That's the fighter unit. You are facing the opposition's best athlete is back there fielding. They don't put slouches back there. They put guys that can hit home runs. So you've got to be a guy that can go down and cover, get off a block, first block, transition, go down and cover, and get that guy on the ground.
Ultimately, success or failure in those areas, DeMarco, often a reflection of the caliber of depth that you have in the back end of your roster. And with where the Rams are in terms of their retooling, restructuring, revamping,
I think for that reason they have a chance to be much better in that area. And I'll also point out that they drafted a kicker in Joshua Carty, which if you're looking for the next Greg Zuerlein, the next Matt Gay, they hope the young man out of Stanford can be that model of consistency.
Me too. I mean, that would be nice when you find that guy that you never have to talk about him again, because there's nothing worse than a start and stop with a place kicker.
And
because it seems to never stop.
Yeah. And another thing about special teams is the new kickoff rule. That's going to be definitely something that is going to – whoever figures that out first in the NFL is going to have a huge advantage in the rest of the league. Do you think that Sean McVay and the special teams organization here is going to be able to uncrack that?
Well, first, Emily, if we gave you a pop quiz, do you think you could nail all the kickoff rules?
I definitely could not. It is going to be complicated.
You got the restraining area and the landing zone and where the ball gets spotted if it's kicked out of bounds or through the back of the end zone.
It's about as confusing as offsides in soccer. We're going to have to see that again. But I do know this, man. When it is return and the way you have to go cover now, you have to get through a block and then get to a guy that's running like a scalded dog with the football.
It's almost more like a scrimmage play than it has been before.
Correct.
Right?
And there's going to be tricks, and you have to think in terms of Bones Fossil. There's going to be all types of misdirections and reverses that catch guys slipping. And we said this. You miss one tackle in this new kickoff rule, the ball is gone. It is rugby sevens. So it's going to be exciting, but it's going to be weird to see. How many kick return touchdowns can you remember in your own mental Rolodex? Lifetime.
One at Jacksonville in Sean's first year of 2017, I want to say.
You may get 10 in a season now with this new rule.
He's DeMarco Farr. I'm JB Long. Producer Emily is with us as well. This is the Rams training camp special live from LMU here on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN. We're with you for the next 3 hours documenting Rams training camp. And we just got some good news. Our guest today, post-practice, none other than fantasy football superstar Kiren Williams.
Oh, my God. He's becoming a star, right?
How many fantasy football players do you think would like to shake Kyron's hand and give him a big hug and a thank you for what he did?
Everybody would. Everybody. This is going to be fun. I hope that he can build upon.
Emily was one of them?
Are you really?
She raised her hand.
And Kiren Williams literally saved me. So I, obviously watching the team every week, I knew that Kiren was going to come back after after his injury, and I sneakily got him from my friend. I did a trade. I said, hey, I think Kiren Williams, he's coming off of injury, and I traded her for Kiren Williams and ended up I think I got 4th in my league, my first time playing fantasy football. So
when did he get hurt last season?
That first Arizona game. Remember, he was running all over them at SoFi Stadium, and turns out he was playing through an injury in the back half of that game and ended up having to go on short-term IR. But despite missing that handful of games,
I just remember we couldn't wait until he came back in the offense. So I'm wondering who gave up on him in what fantasy league. You should be called out. That guy. You didn't see what he did before?
Yeah.
Okay. Smart Emily.
And I mean, also, it's like Kiren was not like the highly touted Rams running back going into last season. Wasn't it Cam Akers?
It was Cam Akers.
The running back that everyone wanted to get off everyone get when you're drafting the league. And then, it turns out that Kiren can unlock this Sean McVay offense.
I saw Cam had signed with someone, didn't he?
The Houston Texans.
The Texans.
In fact, the Rams. So here's the preseason schedule for the Rams. They'll be at SoFi Stadium after joint practices with the Cowboys to host Dallas before they leave Oxnard. They also have the regular home-and-home date with the Chargers. And then we'll be off to Houston. I think the buzz of the National Football League, at least the AFC, with what Stroud did on offense, and Anderson and so many other great young players down there. And they also have some interesting Rams ties because that's where Ben Skoranek is now.
Oh, man. So you get the Cam Akers, Ben Skoranek's revenge tour.
Exactly.
I don't want to see that.
It's going to be fun practicing.
So
it's going to be cool.
No better destination than Houston in late August either. I think that's, from a tourist attraction standpoint, the best time of year to be in Houston.
I think I should go hit some outlet stores to buy some clothes. I don't think I'm prepared for
God.
summer
Are all their
Houston.
football facilities indoor?
They're outdoors for practice.
Really?
For
training
practice.
camp?
They're going to be outdoors.
Goodness.
We'll find out. I hope they're in a bubble. We'll see.
I'm excited to see, too, how Sean uses Blake Corum and Kiren together. You saw Blake Corum at the end of the season with Michigan, and see if he, can be that pop with
I would use
Kiren.
him just like Maurice did Fred Taylor in Jacksonville.
Ooh, I like that.
I would let Fred start, and I would put Maurice right there on the edge of the football field. Whenever you start to look tired or anything beyond like less than 4 yards, I'm putting him in. You know what I mean?
Maurice is so excited about the composition of this running back room. The stout running back is back in vogue, thanks in part to the Los Angeles Rams. Blake Corum backing up.
Short and stocky is back in style.
Our guest here today. In fact, we should ask MJD. Will you remind me?
Yeah.
When he comes over, because he's such a fantasy football player, how would you handle that?
What? Blake
Kiren coming off his breakout performance, but now having a drafted rookie out of Michigan behind him.
Whatever he gets per
Any
game.
concern that he might hawk some of those red zone touches and touchdowns.
Whatever he gets per game. I mean, 15, 20, it depends on what the complexion of the game, quoting Sean McVay. But at the end of the year, as long as he's close to 250, 270 carries, that'll be fine. And then Blake Corum, I assume, would pick up the rest, the other 120. And let's see what he does with that.
So, DeMarco, I know that you and I talked to Cooper Kupp earlier this week. You also sat down with middle linebacker Ernest Jones yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you think about this idea? When we come back, should we do some Rams training camp name dropping as we wrap up this first week of
Scott
practice?
Kaplan. I just dropped the name.
Who's made an impression? Okay, so we'll just do some casual name dropping, and then we can fill in the blanks as to why. Who should you have your eye and your ear out for as we anticipate 2024 with the Los Angeles Rams looking to build off a 10-win campaign and a trip to the playoffs? They will pick up right where they left off at Ford Field in Detroit on September the 8th. Emily, DeMarco, and JB with you. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon. We're with you until 4 o'clock here with the Rams Training Camp Special, live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, no talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon drive.
The fun way to drive home on 710.
Oh, wow, man. He, as a wrestler, dude, I mean, how long has it been since he's wrestled? Because this guy's
Dave Bautista's been
20 years.
Yeah,
dude, he's 55 years old.
Yeah.
But, man, back in the day, dude, he was all sauced out of his face.
He was great. And then he had, like, the falling out with them, and then they weren't going to let him in the Hall of Fame, and it was a whole thing. And then,
oh, my God. If you could guarantee me I could have that body, I'll take every steroid he took.
The LA Afternoon Takeover with Sedano and Cap. Monday at 4 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Back in 30.
Point matters. Every detail counts in our meticulously crafted vehicles. Experience luxury at the top of its game. Welcome to Cadillac of Beverly Hills, the #1 Cadillac dealer in the Western region for the 3rd year in a row. Come and check out the incredible selection of new and pre-owned vehicles today at our showroom, 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills, and at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams Training Camp Special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back
up and on.
Be long.
News of the day, the Rams have signed an extra defensive back, Jerry Jacobs, who has appeared in 40 regular season games, including nearly 30 starts, played 3 years with the Detroit Lions all the way through last season. So he's going to be added here. He's, in fact, wearing number 4 today with this Rams defense as they respond to Marco to, unfortunately, some early camp injuries in their secondary. Darion Kendrick was in the mix at corner. In fact, maybe had a chance to play in the slot as well, but he suffered an ACL injury on the first full go day. And then Darius Williams, who had some great years here with the Rams before signing a free agent deal and going to Jacksonville for a couple of seasons, now back with L.A., got his hamstring apparently and is going to miss some time as well. So, look, the Rams were one of the healthiest teams in the National Football League last season, probably the untold portion of the story as to why they were so successful. If there was an area where they do have numbers, it is at corner and in that secondary, but not the start you want to get off to health-wise.
No, the practice began, and there's Sean McVay, the head coach, and right next to him is the trainer. That you hate that in camp, but that's just what
Reggie's
it is.
a good guy, Reggie Scott, but you just don't want to spend
Great
that
conversation,
much time with
but you know they're not talking about meatloaf. They're talking about injuries and whatnot. So, and this football team, it is corner. And look, I was not out on Darian Kendrick. There's a lot left there. I mean, there's going to be some improvement. Penalized a lot. I think he led the team in penalties last year, so I get it. But the kid can play, and he's fast, and he's willing. He's a guy that will come up on the run. So you covet those type of players, and you try to coach out the bad and maximize the good. So that's heartbreaking that he's going to have to fight back from the ACL. Then the other day I'm walking, and I see Darius Williams walking off the field, and he's kind of limping. I'm like, oh, no, you got to be kidding me. Really? No, this can't be. 2 corners in a row? No. So it is what it is. This could happen. It happened to the O-line one year. It could be a disaster. So this is why you're out here, and this is why I mentioned Aubrey Pleasant. You got to coach them all up like they're your guys because they might be your guys, depending on what happens.
We're here at LMU. The Rams getting going with their 4th official workout on these fields on campus on the west side of Los Angeles with Emily DeMarco. I'm JB. We're with you until 4 o'clock here covering this Saturday practice action across the National Football League, being televised on NFL Network. Our friend Maurice Jones-Drew is here, and we'll catch up with him before practice is through.
Is that really Maurice?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's already
He's got a beard now.
Once today.
Yeah. Okay.
Some other things we're out on. Jourdan Rodrigue, the great Rams and NFL writer for The Athletic, is around. She may poke her head in and provide us some pearls of wisdom. And then we're going to finish our show today and our practice here at LMU by checking in with Kiren Williams. But continuing the thought on that secondary, DeMarco, what if I told you that in camp as a Ram for the first time is a former first-team All-Pro at corner, 2-time Pro Bowler, who led the NFL in interceptions as recently as 2019. Would that make you feel better about what the Rams have to combat these potent passing attacks that they're going to face in the first half of the season?
Are you talking about Trey? You're talking about
Tre'Davious White.
Yes, at the top of his game, one of the best. You love to have him. When you watch him on film, when he had those Pro Bowl seasons, I mean, look, there's no daylight between him and the receiver. He's an absolute glove. The one thing that scares you is I haven't seen him play much football to this point. He's been rehabbing. So once he's out there, we get to see him in live action, and it's consistent. I would almost bet that he's going to be that guy, but we still have to wait and see until that happens. Like, wait until Christmas before we know what the present is.
This is his age 29 season, and I think one of the greatest competitive advantages, I would say, that the Rams have off the field is a man by the name of Dr. Neil Elatrash.
Oh, man.
You know where I'm going with this?
Go ahead.
So he is the team doc, the team surgeon for the Rams, but he also is the preeminent surgeon right now, orthopedic surgeon in the entire world. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And all those guys who go to Dr. James Andrews, it seems like that torch has been passed to Dr. Elatrash, who did, among other surgeries, this Achilles repair for Trey White. So no one knows better than the Rams as a staff what might be in store for him in terms of his recovery timeline.
Quick story for Dr. Elatrash. When we travel, we go get something to eat depending on when we get in. This is, I think, the COVID year when we were flying commercial.
Okay.
So we're just trying to scramble, find food. We go in, and he's looking up at the TV, and it's a baseball game. And we're like, why are you watching the game? Oh, I did his shoulder. Wow. Well, and then he talks about the catcher. I did that too. And it's like, dude, everybody in sports comes to you. So how is that fair that you have the best guy that works for you?
Aaron Rodgers came out here last year, didn't he?
Amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, it's crazy to have that guy on your staff. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just talking about the numbers that the Rams are throwing at this secondary. And Akella Witherspoon had a nice season for the Rams at corner last year on a 1-year free agent deal, and he's another name that's been floated around this week as the dents
Let me stand over here
have started to accumulate in the Rams cornerback room. Where are you going, DeMarco?
I'm just I don't want to get punched when I say this. So Akella had a fantastic year. Fantastic.
I feel like there's a butt coming.
Well, I don't think you give Raheem Morris enough credit. Not you. just people, for making that defense, that secondary, be credible. If that makes any sense when we talk about
you did it with duct tape and bubble gum?
Yes, by hook or by crook. I mean, just the stuff they had to do. And
they also had Aaron Donald rushing the quarterback.
Who's that?
Also. But, yes, to make that functional.
136.04. 136.04, in case you had the wager on when the first Aaron Donald reference would be made here
we
today.
Can't talk about him. It hurts. It hurts he's not here, and he's not coming back.
Officially on the retired list as of this morning.
It broke my heart when I saw that go across the wire.
He's not walking through the door.
Not the end of the story, though. Not the end of the story.
But I said this yesterday. If you want to drive him back to football, just say the Rams get hot and they lock up the what do you call that? The number 1 seed.
Okay.
And then it dawns on Aaron that Bobby Brown might actually have more rings than him for her career.
Bobby Brown, the 4th-year nose tackle in the middle of this Rams defense now.
He may come back for that.
Look, is there any question you've been asked more this summer than do you think Aaron's really done? Do you think Aaron might come back? Like, that's the one that I get most.
Number 1 question.
And neither you nor I can speak for him. But here's the thing. Am I overstepping my bounds by saying I don't know that he can speak to that yet? Because he does not yet know what it's like to watch NFL Sunday from his couch.
I can't speak for him, but I know what that feels like.
He's not necessarily missing this right here, right now.
Yeah.
But how about week 1?
He's going to go nuts. Look, you can – Mookie Betts, who's over here to our left, could retire and still play baseball every day if he wants. Basketball players, LeBron, can retire and go play basketball anytime, anywhere he wants. This is the only place where you get to rush the passer. This is the only place where you get to make tackles, where you do what you're born to do. Come September, he's going to feel it. I miss this. I really do.
Can't you just see him in Pittsburgh, like after – the first drive, the first TV timeout, he just runs down to the dungeon to rip out a set of bench phrases. Like he can't take it any longer.
Absolutely, yeah. He's going to stay in shape. We'll see.
Heaven forbid the Rams let Jared Goff and the Lions go down the field on them, and they're just pristine pockets for Jared to launch from.
He may come back.
And you know what?
Saying.
We've seen the Rams do it before, not with the player they had, but Eric Weddle.
Off the couch.
There's precedent for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was saying that.
Off the couch. To a Super Bowl. Where are we booing? Oh, goodness gracious.
There's
and he looks like Ken Stable,
too. A daring soul with a Raiders straw hat making an appearance.
Oh, my gosh.
Here at LMU at Rams training camp.
Would you ever do that? I mean, I think you should do that once in your life. Just, show up in the other team's uniform.
I'm always suspicious that it's somehow making good on a wager. That that guy finished last in his fantasy football league, unlike Emily, who had a solid 4th place
profiling
finish.
right now. No, I don't think that's the case.
You don't think he's
him.
a fantasy football
that's
player?
Him.
Oh,
nope.
we have a Raider guy over here showing off his hat. Come on.
Yes.
I just think that would be a good way to make right on a losing wager is you got to show up wearing an opposing fan's colors.
Wow. What would you pick?
Not for me, though.
No. What would you pick? What's the worst?
I
you
think
can't do that in European soccer.
No, you can't. I think that maybe a Red Sox hat at a Yankee game.
Okay.
Could be pretty bad.
That's
a Celtics jersey at a Laker game, pretty bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Yep.
I also want to say, I think earlier this morning we had some hawks circling our practice facility. Yeah, some hawks.
Tell us more.
I think some Seahawks are, spying on us. Like, the AI is getting really good.
Oh, wow.
And the drones are getting really great.
And these trees up over here.
Yes.
In the eucalyptus.
Yeah. We got to get worried about some hawks circling.
Hawks in Westchester.
Dang, if you're cheating already. I mean, dang, it's 3 days into camp.
That is one thing that I want to get to before we're done, the NFC West.
Yeah.
Maybe we can run through it.
Cheating?
No. Oh. I am of the mindset that as legendary as Pete Carroll was as a head coach, he was keeping a ceiling on the growth of that franchise.
Wow.
And I think changing of the guard up in Seattle could mean good things for the Seahawks, who have drafted well and I think built a really competitive roster. If their quarterback play is good enough, as do the Niners, as do the Rams, and the Cardinals could be the most improved team in the National Football League. But we'll save that for another segment. Why don't we just transition goat to goat? Should we do that? We're talking Aaron Donald here. We're going to step aside and come back with Jourdan Rodrigue. How about that?
Goat.
From the best defensive tackle we've ever seen to the best with a pen covering the Rams. We'll get her insight as we approach the top of the hour, wrapping up hour number 1 Matthew Stafford with a dime over the shoulder to Puka Nacua. Right on cue as we step aside to come back and chat with Jourdan Rodrigue from The Athletic. You are listening to the Rams Training Camp Special, live from LMU on your home in 10 ESPN.
For your Saturday, July 27th, with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Get your red on and enjoy Angels baseball from the comfort of a suite. Entertain guests with all-inclusive packages. Call 888-796-HALO or visit angels.com/suites.
Mason in Ireland.
You are
Actually,
a positive person.
Yeah,
Mason is the glass half empty.
No, my I am. I'm not a glass half empty guy. I'm a glass.
I like to be
My glass is overflowing.
The biggest show on the radio. Monday at 1 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's Cap, and I want to talk to you about my favorite app, Prize Picks. I want you to download the Prize Picks app. Use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. They will match your first deposit 100% up to $100. So if you put in 100, they'll put in 100. You'll have 200. And then you, me, and 5 million other people are all going to play Prize Picks. It is the best time now because we're moving into the summer sports. So this is America's #1 fantasy sports app, and it is game on. And so as we go into the summer, basketball
back in 30.
Because I'm going to play WNBA every night. I'm going to play baseball every night, and I'm going to try my best to turn just $10 into $1,000 because I'm going to play all 6. I'm going to build my lineup. It takes like 60 seconds, and you're going to build your lineup. All you have to do is pick your favorite players, pick more or less on their player projections, and let's go have a good time, and let's all be winners. Prize Picks. Download the app, use my code CAPPY, and let's all play on Prize Picks.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams Training Camp Special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMarco Farr. Just a big
Up and on.
All right, welcome back to LMU on this Saturday afternoon. Hope you're having a great one wherever you are spending it. With DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long, and I'm going to ask our Rams faithful behind us here at training camp for a big ovation, round of applause from The Athletic for Jourdan Rodrigue. Hello, Jourdan.
Hi, so glad to be out here. Oh my God, it's so beautiful out here. The breeze, the football, the grass, the sound of the punt hitting the foot of Ethan Evans and the bird squawking.
Is this how you write your leads? Just kind of stream of consciousness?
I'm flowing, guys.
That was good.
I'm
This must be the
flowing. I'm
life
flowing.
of
Nice.
a great writer.
The thought of the football. Wow. Isn't this special? Isn't this cool to be out here like this, watching camp? In the embryo stage of a football team. I mean, who knows how this team is going to end up, but
Out the womb, apparently.
yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy with an old quarterback. You know, this is a good person. So I heard wins don't matter, or wins aren't a quarterback stat. Would you go with that?
I agree. Wins are a team stat.
So how do you define a Hall of Fame quarterback? We were talking about Matthew Stafford and the debate on him. Like, what's a Hall of Fame quarterback in your mind?
Yeah, I think, we know so much more about advanced statistics now that we can go back and remeasure things like EPA per play, expected points added. We can go back and look at team construction, roster construction. We could, and here's a crazy thought, watch the tape of what exactly does constitute a Hall of Fame quarterback. Obviously, accolades, the big accolades are very important. I'm not diminishing those. The Super Bowl, I'd know he'd love to have another one. But even without that second one, it is my opinion that Matthew Stafford is already on that Hall of Fame track. And honestly, I think when we make these arguments and we make these cases, we do need to go back and we need to do the research. We need to this dude's been playing for 30 years at this point?
Forever.
So we do need to go back and we need to really do a deeper dive into just how much he was lifting some of those teams that maybe don't look statistically great or some of those seasons that were not statistically great, because you're looking at a quarterback who can lift a team to extremely high levels, but the floor of a team is also going to potentially drag that quarterback down at times, injuries, things like that. So I think, he is hell-bent, it seems like, on making sure there is no argument about this Hall of Fame situation, but I don't think it's just about wins and losses. I think you have to really do some deeper dive, not just with him, with every future Hall of Famer, Torrey Holt.
Come on, that's
you need
overdue.
to do some deeper dives on exactly what it was that their contribution to the fabric of the sport was, and continues to be.
She is Jourdan Rodrigue with DeMarco Farr.
She is
JB
dead
Long.
right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, like, what's a more telling statistic? A win for a pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Oh.
And you're talking about evaluating Cy Young performance, or a QB win. I don't know if anyone wants to weigh in on that, but I think both have been deflated, devalued to such an extent that we're now in a different position. Jourdan,
Let him cook, JB Cook. I know you got
I'll save that soapbox for another time. I did spend some time this summer, as we all do, kind of rehashing the year gone by. And I think there's a case to be made, Jourdan. I want to see if you agree or disagree, that 2023 was actually Matthew Stafford's best season.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And particularly where I think he excelled relative to his prior years was still making those jaw-dropping elite throws, the explosive plays, while somehow dragging down his turnover-worthy plays to career low levels. He actually led the league in both high explosive, high-caliber plays, the wow moments that go viral, but also he didn't so much as fumble last year, Jourdan.
And I want to add to that, JB, because great stats. You know I love a stat. But great stats, and I want to add to it, he was something, third in the league in dropped ball percentage by receivers.
So it could have been even better, you're saying.
So it could have been even better than what we saw. And listen, that's not a knock on anybody.
Yes, it is. Puka.
But Puka will say it himself. He said it himself. He's got to clean up the drops. And, and it certainly isn't a knock, because I'm not going to knock a rookie for figuring out how to catch a ball from Matthew Stafford, in a situation that nobody expected coming in. There was supposed to be Cooper Kupp through the entirety of the year last year, and there just wasn't. And so I think that it was so impressive because you saw this level of play elevated in every phase of the offense because of Matthew Stafford's contribution and also the work that these young kids and these young players put in. At the same time, Matthew Stafford was like, what do they call it, Benjamin Buttoning? I mean, it seemed like he was aging in reverse at this point, and I think that's infectious. I mean, I've said that about a couple of his teammates this year because I think that's infectious. I think that really matters, and he did elevate people significantly last season and statistically had an extraordinary, at one point, MVP conversation at the end of the year situation, particularly that back half of the season where everything really came alive for this team.
Is it asking too much to have a healthy Cooper Kupp, a healthy and balling Cooper Kupp, and have Puka repeat what he did a season ago? What does that look like offensively?
Yeah, I think if we're going to look at things like logically and realistically, because all things equal, if Cooper is healthy, and go back to even a percentage of the Cooper Kupp that we know him to be, there is going to be more of a split in terms of that target share. I think, remember, guys, going back to the very beginning of the year when Puka was sort of just getting his feet under him before, the rest of the world was watching Rams games, it was like he was the first read in the zone concepts against the zone defenses, and it was spamming to Puka, right? It was Puka, and then supporting cast, right? And a lot of 2-2 coming in there, and then DeMarcus coming in through the last part of the season. But then it took a minute for that distribution of resources, essentially, to really click. Now, this is a team that's going to spread the ball around because they have a healthy Cooper Kupp. They'll have a second-year Puka Nacua, who maybe won't feel like he has to be the hero every. And I think that's great to not have that pressure going into your second season. But I think we're looking at realistically, you're looking at a much more even split. Now, production-wise, there's still high potential. You could throw the ball less and still get more production, depending on your designs. We saw Puka running a little bit different concepts, especially when he started getting some man coverage last season, showing he could do some of the deeper concept stuff, not just the mid-range stuff. And I think that that's where you can potentially get as much production. Maybe you're not being targeted quite as much, but you can also find ways to be as productive.
That got ugly in man towards the end of those games when they did man him up and he would catch it and turn. You would see that corner go, oh, my God.
I didn't know he could do this.
This dude's 200 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help. Get here fast.
With DeMarco Farr and Jourdan Rodrigue from The Athletic, I'm JB Long, and this is the Rams training camp special live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN. Rams going through 11-on-11 work as we speak. This game just dawned on me. Will you humor me for 1 second?
Always.
Everyone have something to write with? Jourdan, I know you have this great tablet. Okay, without sharing your answers, we'll share them on the air momentarily, but I want to ask a question. How many more years do you expect Sean McVay to be the head coach of the Rams? From this day forward, counting this year, let's just write down a number because I want to follow up with my context here, and we'll compare. Everyone ready?
Yeah, okay.
3, 2, 1. DeMarco, you read your answer first.
I said 5.
Jourdan?
I said 13, so he hits out at 50.
Okay, I had 8.
Okay, all right.
But is it not telling that all three of us are writing down numbers that far, far, far exceed the average lifespan of an NFL head coach, given where McVay has been the last couple of years.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes. That's the 5 is because him, not the team saying sayonara. This is your football coach. One of the best in the league. That close, a bad, I wouldn't say a bad throw, a great defensive play in Atlanta, away from being a 2-time Super Bowl winning coach. So he is that good. I think he can coach here for as long as he wants to. And I think as long as that quarterback spot is solidified and he has his fingertips on this offense, you're going to be in the hunt every single Sunday as long as he's your head coach.
The three of us have the privilege of talking to him regularly. And I think, Jourdan, you as much as anyone have seen the change in his mentality. And if I can use the expression, the good look in his eye coming into training camp 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes back to me, the most important thing, and I think on a personal level too, I think anyone can take a lesson out of watching this dude basically grow up over the last 7 years, because that's really what it has been. I think we forget 30 years old, you're not grown up. 40 years old, you're not grown up, depending on the life you've lived. And he lived a pretty...
She's looking at me in a way that really cuts close to
the
heart.
Oh, my God.
I got to say,
what do you know, Jordan?
He's mentioned this, he didn't have to deal with a ton of adversity in his life. And I think, first of all, that's refreshing to admit that. But his adversity was extreme burnout, extreme fatigue. It was everyone watching him fail, everyone in the world watching him fail, just so recently after... standing on top of a stage, trashed and yelling, "Run it back!" Like that's a shot to the pride, and that's failure. That's really pure, true failure for the first time in his life. I think that what's been cool from a human perspective, and I know the three of us agree, being here every day and seeing it, and it's just like the best part of football is watching people grow up, experience the lessons that you can learn inside this bubble that we're all in. And either succeed out of that or fail. And I think, obviously, he's been successful coming out of that. But the phrase that always comes back to me is work works. It just doesn't get solved because you want it to get solved. It gets solved because you put in the work to fix it. And that's what he went about doing through that spring after the 2022 season, and then into the summer, and then all throughout the 2023 season. And those were words that came to him from A1 Aaron Donald. So you better freaking listen to that guy when he's talking to you.
No doubt.
So he's in a more sustainable place as a person, as a head coach, without sacrificing any of the rocket fuel that makes him a force of nature.
See, I disagree, though. I don't think anything about this job is sustainable. I just think you understand what depths you're going to have to go to and how to get back out of them.
Okay.
I really don't think any part of this job is sustainable, and you see it all over the place. You see it with Andy Reid. You see it with Kyle Shanahan. You're starting to see it with Matt LaFleur. You're seeing it with John Harbaugh. There is a level of like long-haul truckerness that is invested into this job, and what being a head coach for that long in the NFL is. It's little deaths over and over and over again. You are constantly outrunning your own creations. You're constantly outrunning your own ideas. Everyone is chasing you if you're out in front the way that all of those coaches have been and are. And you have to understand that's not always going to, first of all, that's exhausting, and that's not always going to look perfect. But when you're at your worst, understanding how to get out of your worst, that is what I think the gift that Sean McVay got over those last couple of years. Not understanding balance. I'll believe it when I see it.
Not 7 hours of sleep.
Not understanding, like, sleep, fine, whatever, that's great. But, like, not, all of this stuff that's like the magic antidote. No, it's actually the work and understanding how to build your own damn ladders once you get down to the bottom of somewhere. And that's what I think he really learned. And that's what I think is what will sustain him, even though this is not a sustainable profession to be in.
I'm about to go do burpees, man. Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. I was watching special teams today. I'm freaking fired up, guys.
No, but that's I mean, you remember that last coach's show from that 5-win season? He was about as ragged out, burnt out as anybody you've ever seen. And if he would have said, I am done, I wouldn't have blamed him. Because like you said, you were at the mountaintop, and then people saw you fail. I never factored that in. And he's never been through that before. So that's got to be tough. That's like a undefeated young fighter losing his first fight. You've got to find a way to get back through that and get back in the ring. Here he is. The thing I love about Sean McVay, he went through all that, and he came back swole. Not only am I back, I'm back better. You know what I mean? I'm back. I'm ready for a fight now. So that's dope. And that carries over to your football team. Think about what that breeds in the meeting room. When Jordan's talking to us the way she's talking to us. Now imagine him talking to these guys. they'll have you running through the wall twice.
Can I go with a few just rapid-fire Rams-related questions before we let Jourdan get back to her work?
Hit it.
Give me a breakout star for the 2024 Los Angeles Rams.
Breakout star? Ooh, Cam Curl. I was just watching Cam Kitchens go on the jugs machine, but Cam Curl, already a really good player. I'm a big nerd about safety play. You guys know this.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the fluidity, the savvy, the range that this guy has. We already knew he was a good player. Watching him in Washington, it was very clear. But watching him take to this offense like a fish to water and really assert himself, and also the range that he moves with unlocks Quentin Lake to be able to do lots of things, following the motion player, playing in the star, playing deep if he has to. Like, you can watch that Cam Curl's ability and his range as a deeper safety is going to unlock so many different things about what this defense can do.
How about Rookie of the Year from this 10-man draft class?
Just
if I
from this
gave you
team?
Verse or the field, which would you prefer?
Oh, Jared Verse for sure.
First round pick at 19 overall. You think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year?
On this team,
Mhm.
yeah. Like, you're
let's
not
go
going
bigger than that.
You're not going to hot take me here.
Yeah.
You're not going to
Clip
get me.
this, Caleb Williams.
You're not going to
She's
get
got
me.
Jared Verse.
You're not going to get me clipped on social
okay.
media.
I like
here.
it.
But no, Jared Verse showed up, and it's funny that a lot of the scouts are in town here for the summit that they do every year with Les Snead, and you talk to any one of them, it's like grown man.
Oh God.
Grown man, and like he showed up ready to go. He showed up like very vocal, very professional at the same time, but like, dude is chippy, man. You see some when the pads come on, when these joint practices start up, like you need an instigator. Aaron Donald's not here anymore. Jalen Ramsey's not here anymore. You need an instigator who can back up what he says and how he gets under the skin of these offensive linemen. I think that's going to be really fun to watch.
That's a real first-round end. I would say Braden Fisk, though, but I'm biased.
Oh, yeah, he looks great.
That dude's
He looks
his
great.
feet. Don't his feet just go? I'm a fan.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I can't wait to see the pads come on because you want to see the feet lead him somewhere. You want to see the feet translate to production. But I'm watching feet. I'm watching hand placement, and it seems like it's all. He's figuring it out. He's got all of it.
Last one for me. Who leads these Rams in receiving touchdowns when all is said and done this year?
Receiving touchdowns.
Cooper Kupp. Come on.
Oh, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go with the crazy one. 'Cause I think they're going to get down to the red zone real nice this year. And then in the red zone, Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen.
Wow.
Yeah.
The tight end room.
I like it. I see it.
I know.
There's something so poignant about that.
But like
in
that,
the 11
like
personnel
punching
universe
through
that
the
you
red
operate
zone.
in.
I mean, Sean is going absolutely nuts in his own mind on how they can't for all the productiveness. The red zone was still up and down last year, and then especially with a couple of maybe different fourth down decision-making processes, maybe kicking less, going for it more. I really do think that those tight ends, and maybe they won't lead, maybe combine to lead, but, I think these receivers are, if everyone stays healthy, geared up to have a great season, but I would not sleep on those tight ends, particularly in the red zone.
Jourdan Rodrigue from The Athletic, the author of some really impressive projects in recent years, including Finding Rams this offseason that takes you through the life of the Rams scouting process and going back to playmakers as well. Just the great series you did there. I'm sure there's something in the works. You don't have to share it with us, but just a wink and a nod if you've got a new
some fun stuff coming out this year.
I hope so.
Some fun stuff coming out.
Do you
this
still
year.
get chills when you see like your name in a New York Times byline? Like the way your links populate, sometimes I'll just see you put something on and it's like the paper of record, the New York Times. That is so cool.
When I wrote my Aaron Donald farewell column, and it got published in the commentary section of the newspaper, not just the sports section. And I had a moment, and I ran around my town trying to find a newspaper, and I couldn't find one, and I went to Sprouts, and the two ladies were asking me why I was looking for it, and I told them, and they threw an entire party for me in the Sprouts.
So cool.
And I cried, and it was an amazing. I'm grateful for the opportunity. It's been awesome.
Jourdan, you don't cry. Come on. It's football.
I was so emotional.
At least not in this interview she did.
That's
only
right.
15 minutes this summer so far.
I think I've cried a lot in interviews recently, actually, frankly. So.
Jourdan Rodrigue, generous enough to give us some of her time here as the Rams practice at LMU with DeMarco Farr. I'm JB Long, the first of several guests coming up. We'll have MJD, and we'll finish with Kiren Williams, Rams running back, here at training camp with the Los Angeles Rams on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Clear.
Training camp special for your Saturday, July Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beach Boys.
Now streaming, the Beach Boys tell their story in a must-see film event.
Brian, Dennis, and Carl, a cousin, Mike Love, and our good friend El Jardine. That's family to me.
Experience the definitive look at America's band.
They were participating in the creation of a California dream.
The fact that what was a family, that's where the success came from.
The Beach Boys, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now streaming on Disney+.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Travis and Sliwa.
All the way live from LA Live. Back Monday at 10 a.m.
This is how a revolution that we're gonna make the United States the handball mecca of the world. I don't know you said France is #1 seed.
Yeah, France is #1. Norway is right behind them. I think the Netherlands
are we in
top
it?
5. No, I think this is similar to soccer. We're just nowhere in it.
Yeah, we have a team, but we're not going to win.
Yeah.
We need to build our own golden generation of handball players so we can really compete at the highest level. Especially here in Southern California, we have some of the best athletes in the world.
Sure.
Why can't we put some of those athletes to go play some handball? You know, concussions happen.
Good question.
You know, injuries happen. What if we took everybody that's playing soccer, put them into handball?
I always got
the president of the USA Handball Association.
It's the Mid-Morning Spectacular.
Don't miss Travis Lee, live from LA Live.
710 ESPN.
At Cardin Alleyway Hyundai, the sizzling summer sales event is on now. Lease a new 2024 Hyundai Elantra SCL for only $249 a month plus tax for 36 months on approved credit. Plus get peace of mind driving with America's best warranty.
Back in 30.
Powertrain limited warranty and the Hyundai Assurance Program. Cardin Alleyway Hyundai just off the 91 freeway in the Corona Auto Center or CardinAlleyWayHyundai.com. Lease for $249 plus tax. License and fee to well-qualified buyers. 36-month lease. 10K miles per year. $34.99 due at signing. Not all buyers will qualify. Down payment may be required. Subject to HMF credit approval. Expires 07/31/2024.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Here we go, Saturday, July 27th, 2024. This is the Rams Training Camp Special, live from Loyola Marymount University. And today, as we get you ready for the full season of Rams football, Day 3 of Rams Training Camp, and a very special show. Our Rams Training Camp Special on 710 ESPN, hosted by the voice of the Rams, J.B. Long.
Back shoulder, Cooper Kupp's got it! Cooper Kupp brings it in! Touchdown, L.A.!
And Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. JB and DeMarco have you covered on this Saturday with all the sights, the sounds, the accoutrement from Rams Training Camp.
Today, the road back to the Super Bowl begins.
Hi, this is Coach Sean McVay. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
By the way, we will see today if JB Long pays back our afternoon man, Scott Kaplan, Cappy, with a little impersonation.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, DeMarco and I will be here Saturday with 3 hours to ourselves.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. That's a lot of talk real estate for me to come up with some Cappy Cap. Just drive around and keep your radio on.
Okay,
Hey.
there you go. All right.
Go.
Yeah.
Hey.
You'll be in the show.
Let's do it. Party, oh party at Rams Training Camp. Our Rams Training Camp Special on 710 ESPN kicks off right now.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
On your home of Rams football.
Live from LMU and the practice field of Rams Training Camp with DeMarco Farr. Here is the voice of your Los Angeles Rams.
Up and on.
Be Long.
All right, thank you, Chris Morales, and welcome back to LMU, everyone. With DeMarco Farr, I am JB Long. And for all those words, something kind of clicked into place in my mind.
What's that?
Do you know what accoutrement means?
I thought it means stuff that comes with, like,
yeah. Oh, man, it's like a French word, and since the Olympics are in Paris right now, it's very well chosen by Morales.
Nice.
Accoutrement defined as additional items of dress or equipment or other items carried or worn by a person or used for which kind of makes me think that we should just start calling him a accoutrement cap. Because who has more accoutrements in his life than Scott Kaplan?
I think that might stick.
In his closet, in his professional life.
I think that might stick.
I mean, he never comes to a training camp without a headshot. to autograph and give away.
This is what I knew this guy was different.
On cap.
Yeah.
Where was the other draft house? Not the one we just had. The one that was up in the hills.
Hollywood Hills.
Hollywood
when he was
Hills.
in the bathtub wearing less than he should have been.
When he got in the at an NFL draft house.
Yeah.
NFL, you know how serious that is. He got in the bathtub. I'm like, you are fearless, my man.
You know, Scott is at once the person most likely to do something like that, and also in like the top 3 people I know in my life whom I would not want less than fully dressed in my bathroom.
100%. Oh, and that imposter. Are we sure it wasn't Cap? Because Cap is the type of dude that might do that.
Would pretend to be
He'd say, I'm MJD, you know?
and try to sell it. Yes. Go to the nth degree.
As we start this second hour, I had an idea, and tell me if you like it or not. But I thought we could talk about some areas in which we expect the Rams to improve coming off a 10-win season, and some areas where we're braced for a little bit of regression just because they couldn't possibly be as strong as they were a season ago.
Okay. Expect to improve.
Yeah, if the Rams are to take the next step, right? They start in Detroit, right where last season finished with a disappointing primetime wild card loss to the Detroit Lions. What are some of the things they're going to have to do between now and when they kick off to get better, to improve either statistically or personnel-wise so that they can contend for another world championship?
Well, after listening to Jordan, I just, I'm going through the mental Rolodex when she's speaking about red zone failures. And I remember us being excited, great drive, fizzles out in the red zone, or you have to kick it or whatever happens. So red zone scoring. Is that play calling or position?
Yes.
Did you improve? It's both. I like that.
Isn't red zone and all of the above sort of thing?
It is. And this is funny. We talk about running backs. All these running backs look alike, save for one. The tight end room looks eerily similar. They all look 6'5" and big dudes that can go up and get it. So what she said, they may lead this team in receiving touchdowns because of red zone ops. I could see that happening if all comes to pass with the guys you have on this roster.
This is paradoxical, but I was not expecting to say that the Rams, the best tight end room I've seen in my tenure, even though Tyler Higbee is not practicing yet because of his injury suffered in Detroit. I think they are at least 3 strong at that position and hopefully 4 sooner rather than later when Higgs comes back. But they're built out. And they don't just have tight ends in title. Like when Higbee and Gerald Everett early in Sean McVay's tenure were listed as tight ends, okay, fine, they fit within the concept of this offense. But there are grown men at tight end who can attach, detach, catch, block. Like, I think they can be a force for this offense in ways that we haven't seen.
These are real tight ends. I think I was with Cameron walking out, and Hunter Long was in front of us. And we called, and we stopped. And I said, from back here, you look almost like you're 6'8". How tall are you? He said, I'm a good 6'5". And I said, what's the most catches you've had in a year on any level? He said 67. And I said, do you think you could ever catch 100? He goes, oh, yeah. Like, just throw me the ball.
Really?
That type of stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I told Cameron, I said, this is the missing piece of this offense. If you have one of these guys going down the middle of the field or in the red zone, with everything else Sean McVay can create, you've got serious issues as a defense. You can't cover them all. Somebody is going to be exposed.
And if you think about it, almost every great team in the NFL that's competing at a high level has a signature tight end, has a guy. It's that connection with that quarterback that just is short. When they need it to happen, they go to their tight end. And no disrespect to Tyler Higbee, but Sean McVay has not had the best tight end available to him. So I think it'd be interesting to see what he can do with that group. That's why, when Jordan said that, I was like, that's what piqued all of our interest. We're like, tight ends?
Mm-hmm. Not knocking Higbee, though. Higbee's been
I'm
bald.
not
He's tough.
knocking him.
Tyler was drafted out of a smaller program as a pass-catching tight end. And you look at what he's actually been asked to do in the National Football League. It'd stick his face in the fan year after year. And he's done it without flinching, and I commend him for it. But to Emily's point, Sean McVay came to the Rams with a reputation as an offensive coordinator, sure, but a tight end coach by position.
What was his name in Washington that used to kill it, the Pro Bowler? The tight end.
Jordan Reed?
Jordan Reed. I mean, just an absolute. Like I said, at some point they're going to stretch you thin, and that guy's going to be man for man, and he's going to win. So
around draft time, I even thought they might have even tried to get Brock Bowers. I thought they were maybe going to go higher and get Brock Bowers.
They're not the only one.
Yeah,
not the only one, Emily. But you're right. You look at the teams standing in the Super Bowl last year, and their tight ends are household names, right? And Kittle, and then what's Taylor's boyfriend's name again?
That guy. Yeah. Taylor's boyfriend. That's his name.
El Travador. He's having for training
also going by Kelsey. Yeah.
So I'll I'll give you one that I think splits in both directions in terms of it's an area where the Rams will probably naturally regress, but also can improve, and that's turnover margin. I think the Rams inevitably will probably turn it over a touch more this year, hopefully not too much, because, like I said earlier, last year was Matthew Stafford's best in terms of protecting the football. But on the other side of the equation, the Rams were not very good at creating takeaways. And in this first year with Chris Shula as the defensive coordinator, I think they've been intentional about two things: getting tougher, right? Tougher in the trenches to the extent that that's possible when you lose Aaron Donald, and also getting playmakers on the ball. And I think when you have an entrenched offense like this one that's capable of scoring 30 points a game, you don't have to be a shutdown defense. I would love it if they do become one, but you need to be a disruptive defense. You need a couple of 3 stops per game and a takeaway plenty against most opponents.
You know, talking to Ernest Jones, he seems very confident in this group. He said, look, you'd rather have Aaron than not have Aaron, but he is excited about what he sees. And the guys we talked about, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk coming along right away, and then Byron Young taking the extra step. So there might be room for growth for this pass rush. You could generate stuff that you haven't seen before, and offenses are going to change how they attack you because Aaron was everybody's first threat. So there were things they just took out of the playbook because he's there. Now, all that's wide open. Now, offenses are going to have to complete those more dangerous passes, which means there's going to be more opportunity in the back end to step in front of one. So when you do, make sure you come down with it. I love PBUs, but picks win ball games. So I'm right there with you. And one more thing about picks. I was thinking about you when I was walking this morning, thinking about Matthew Stafford. And I said, I don't care if this guy throws 18, 19 picks. I really don't. As long as they're spread out over 17 weeks. See what I mean?
The backbreakers of the multiple interception games. We could all think of a couple. In fact, there was that gnarly stretch in the winless November of what became a Super Bowl season, remember, where he was throwing a pick six seemingly each week.
Yes.
And multiple interceptions in those losses to Tennessee and to San Francisco and to Green Bay before they spun it around and went on a tear that resulted in the confetti falling at SoFi
Correct.
Stadium.
And if he throws a pick or 17 picks in 17 weeks, what does that mean? That means he played all 17. Right. I will take that any day of the week.
And
so, yeah.
It also means that they're pushing, like that they feel like they have the ability to, throw down the field, that these guys are playing well. And I think that, you want Matthew Stafford to feel like he's unlocked.
Yeah.
He's not scared of throwing a pick necessarily. So I think that's also another good thing about that you don't want Matthew Stafford to be scared to do a big play,
It's good context because all interceptions, to Emily's point, are not created equally, right? And there was a time where he was among the NFL leaders in pick sixes. Those are, of course, the most costly. Whereas, look, you have third down and you take a shot downfield and it gets picked off 40 yards downfield. That's an arm punt. That's hardly a turnover. That's just about where you would have expected to kick it and go cover it. So,
or a hell of a play. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
The guy made it.
Where else, DeMarco, do you think the Rams can immediately improve? Where can they build off of what they started in kind of this next book of Sean McVay's career of 2023?
I'm excited about the run game. I mean, we're talking about Matthew Stafford. Think about if you develop this run game and Matthew Stafford actually has the benefit of play action for an entire football game. That's what you're more afraid of than him. And that's what you can build if Kiren comes back and stays together and builds on what he did. And I love what they've done, that you realize that Kevin Dotson is your biggest free agent option. You locked him up. He's there. Look at the size of him. And then you go out and you supplement that with Jackson on the other side, and you slide in Steve Avila at center. You're telling the world what you're about to do. We're going to slam the ball down your throats. Good luck. And we've got 3 running backs that all look the same. Rolling balls of butcher knives. We're going to keep coming at you nonstop to wear you down. And then, by the way, you've got to deal with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua on the outside. So, for me, the O-line and the run game. Let's see if you can build on what you've done. You surprised some people. Now they know. They're going to design to stop you. Let's see if you can do it again when the world knows you're running.
What better way to protect an emerging defense with a first-time defensive coordinator than with some ball possession and an efficient running game that keeps your offense on the field and doesn't overexpose the defense that's still going to be learning on the job come September?
That would be awesome. Yes, sir. That's the way to build.
All right, we probably have to take a break here with Cooper Kupp on the receiving end of a sidearm sling from Matthew Stafford as we watch this Saturday of Rams practice here at LMU. But we've got so much more to come, including a conversation with a member of that running game, Kiren Williams, coming off a breakout season before we're done today. at Rams Training Camp, and it's a live special from LMU here in Westchester on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Clear.
Rams Training Camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It would be the best story, not only in tennis, but maybe in sports.
We were just two young black girls playing in Compton. This is not normally how that story goes. I looked different. I played emotional. I was better. I was stronger. I had muscles. I was something that no one had ever seen before, ever.
Stream the ESPN Plus original series, In the Arena, Serena Williams, presented by Morgan Stanley, now on ESPN Plus.
Shopping for your next truck? Save time, save money, and experience the 5-star service that made George Chevrolet Chevy's Dealer of the Year 6 years in a row. Take advantage of great offers during the Chevy Summer Drive event and take home a new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Crew Cab with $10,000 in total savings off MSRP. Visit them today or shop online at George. Together, let's drive. Discount calculated off MSRP on select models. Offer ends 7/31/24. See dealer for details or call 866-949-4805.
The future depends on teachers. Every day, teachers are shaping our tomorrows, starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who will make preventing pandemics their life's work, sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who will help combat climate change, and generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family.
Back in 30.
It all starts with teachers who meet challenges with creativity, who reinvent education for the future, who work towards a school system that lifts up every child, regardless of grades, income, or zip code,
we got to talk.
and to enable the full potential of our students, our communities, and our country. Explore
You better
a career
not sit
that leaves
down.
a legacy
You
can
better
be
not
proud
sit
of.
down.
Shape the future.
Hold
Teach.
on a minute.
Learn more. and
Hold
receive
on.
Free support
I've been
at
stealing from you.
teach.org.
I lost like 15 pounds doing that. I'm going to keep doing
And
it
yes,
too.
what better way to
Good
spend
cut.
a Saturday than the Rams Training Camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to
Up and on.
Reunited at Rams camp, and it feels so good. Not just DeMarco Farr and JB Long, but the third member of our trio, Maurice Jones-Drew.
You know, JB, I was here, was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
Did the hit?
Yeah.
No, DeMarco was nowhere to be found. I was shocked that I didn't see
I
him
missed
there.
the first day. I came back the next day. But look, there's Emily standing, JB standing, I'm standing. Why are you sitting?
Because I just flew down here this morning, and I worked out when I got here. My legs were sore.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So I gotta protect yourself.
You know, man, we were just talking about Kiren. We're gonna have him. Are you gonna talk to Kiren today?
No, we're gonna talk to Puka and Coach and Stafford.
Okay, well, we're gonna have Kiren on, and he's got Blake Corum and everybody else behind him. Ronnie Rivers, not to discount anybody, but I mean, you've been in those rooms. You've been the hunted and the hunter. What is that like to be a lead dog when you've got some hungry ones behind you?
Well, I think that's the question that's going to be answered throughout this training camp is you have to do what's best for the team, which is talk to Blake, give him everything you can, all the other stuff, but I still have to beat you out.
Yeah.
I'm still a competitor, right? I still want to be the man. I want to be the top dog. So it's going to push you, but as you see him make mistakes, you want to help him and teach him. And it's a sticky situation, right? Because it's like I'm giving you the ammo to take my job. You know that, right?
Yeah,
but then at the same time, I can't allow you to take my job.
Have you ever not helped somebody when you could have?
No, I've never done that.
When you could have helped this kid?
No, I've never done that.
Why? Because Fred did it for you? I mean, that's
yeah,
how
well, because
you're
yeah,
wired.
Fred did it for me, but I just think, as a competitor, I want to give you the best. I want to give you everything you can to try to beat me, then still not beat me.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm going to help you, so I
want
can
to
beat
give you
fair.
everything. Yeah, so it's not like he didn't. I've heard some crazy story. I think Shady McCoy talked about it with Brian Westbrook that he wouldn't help him when he was in Philly, and it's like that's insane.
Westbrook wouldn't help him.
Yeah, he wouldn't help him, and I'm like,
wow.
But you got to do what's best for the team.
What do you think Cousins and Penix are like right now in Atlanta?
I hope he's in the I'm going to help you mode.
Yeah.
Because, Kirk Cousins got paid already.
You give me $100 million. I'm going to help you all you want.
Yeah, I'm going to help you. That's right.
I'm feeling super generous.
Yeah. Kyren's a little different situation, right? It's just like, I'm a late-round pick. You're earlier round pick than I was. I got to help you and beat you out? I can see the hesitation in that.
Maurice Jones-Drew also big in the fantasy football space. So what are you telling people when they ask how to handle this Rams running back by committee?
Well, I got a chance to talk to Coach Ron Gould on Wednesday. We had a great conversation. We walked to the media room. And he was saying that, granted, Kyren's the guy. But the object is to keep him healthy and for as many games as possible. Obviously, he got banged up last year. He was banged up a little bit in OTAs. So Blake is going to get some touches. So handcuff him, right? You get Kiren, go get Blake in those later rounds. He's going to touch the ball. He has the ability. They love his smarts. He told me, he goes, his nickname or my quote to him is patient young grasshopper, because he's hitting the hole too quick, right? And I always tell guys, when you get to the NFL, you think you have to go faster, but you have to go slower. You got to let it develop more.
That's why I love that hezzy step that Kiren got into his game last year, right?
Unbelievable.
That split second allows the hole to open for him.
Well, what it does, it manipulates the linebacker too, right? Because the linebacker has to declare what gap he's going to. What gap do you have with that hezzy step or that skip step? And once they do it, and we've seen it here today. I was watching a little bit of some outside zone. He did a little skip step, and he found the hole and hit through it. Again, competition is only going to make you better, right? What do we always say? Competition breeds greatness, and that's what you want. You want to continue to have competitive players in your room so that when guys are pushing themselves, your lead dog is getting better. But it's going to be an exciting year, I think, for the running back.
When did you get over playing ball? I still have football dreams. I'm over it, but it's still in my head. When did you, for Aaron, it's going to hit him when?
Oh, no, he's going to hit him now. He's going to start being sore right now. I think I told JB that. I was like, bro, some days in August, my hamstring just gets sore. My ankles start to hurt. Like, why is my ankle hurting?
But he's
August?
not missing this.
No,
that's what I mean.
No, see, this is
but
different.
Sunday night, September the 8th?
This is different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
Right? I would miss this. I would miss it.
Practicing.
This is fun. No. This practice is fun.
This type of practice.
Not the ones that we had, the 2-a-days with the pads on.
That
was fun.
But I'm talking about
when you were wearing 100% cotton.
Oh, my God.
Jacksonville.
There was no dry fit. It was none of this new technology. It was like sweatshirts.
But being a baller, missing playing football, when did you get over that?
I still haven't.
Okay, there you go.
Put it this way. Yesterday I was coaching my youngest son's team, and everyone's live, so one of our quarterbacks is dealing with an injury, so he couldn't go. So I was like, I'll play scout team. So they're like, Coach, you live? I was like, yeah, I'm live. Let's get it in.
Yeah.
And so we were running read option. I pulled it and ran over a couple 13-year-olds. Like, get out of here. And I tried to tell you, I ran 4.8 that day. I ran 4.8 yesterday, and I felt great. Right, stiff arms.
You're running over middle schoolers, man.
No question. But you never get away from it, because you got to think we've been playing this our whole lives, right? You've been doing this your whole life. So if you talk to Eric Dickerson, he still thinks he can go out here and run for 200, right? You just never get out of it.
You lose that,
especially when you're playing at the level that Aaron Donald was playing at.
So in your exclusive running back club, I'm talking guys who are built like you, made like you, think like you. It's a select group, right? But it's kind of coming back around, and the Rams are playing a big role in that. So who's card-holding members in the MJD Running Back Association?
Are they playing now, or are they forever?
if you think Jerome Bettis is in there,
I would
go
say
for it.
I would say Barry Sanders for sure is number one.
Okay.
Just because of the size and his height and his ability to make people miss. You see a lot of smaller backs.
I hit nothing. He was right there.
You won't touch him.
Nothing.
Whiff?
He was right in front of me, arm's distance, and I blinked.
That was it.
He teleported.
Hugged myself. He was gone.
I'm surprised. You're lucky you didn't hug someone else that was trying to get him from the other side.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell. I think Earl Campbell, his mindset of just running through people over and over and over again, it was something like that. It's funny, people don't know this, but me and Marshawn have a very similar mindset when it comes to football. Like, I think he's one of the best too. The way he was able to kind of galvanize his team with his play. And it was run the football and play strong defense, but he practiced a certain way. And then obviously what the Rams are doing here, so guys that are playing now, I think Kiren is a guy we've always talked about with the duo, the way he can read and manipulate linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
But then I didn't know he talked so much trash. And then I saw on the top 100 they were talking about the linebacker from the Ravens last year,
Queen.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of got under him because I was barking." I was like, "Well, welcome to the club."
Yeah.
I didn't know you like to talk.
That's like Steph Curry barking at you.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a reaction.
Exactly.
You're gonna get a reaction.
Well, welcome. That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of guys, but Kiren for sure is definitely in that top 5 of guys, just with his passion.
Yeah.
I think his passion, the way he carries himself, the way he practices, and then in the game, the way he plays.
I got a tough one for the group.
Okay.
I heard this yesterday, and it really stumped me. Okay, so you're going to put 3 statues. Take McVay out of the argument for a hot minute. That's a different deal. 3 statues of players since they've been back in Los Angeles. Who are those 3? And you already got 2. Aaron's 1.
Cooper's 1.
Cooper's the other. Who's the 3rd?
So McVay, Aaron, Cooper.
Well, McVay's not he's got his own.
4th.
He's a player.
And a 4th, yeah.
3 players, yeah.
You're talking like kind of your Mount Rushmore outside
Correct.
in Inglewood.
Yes, and it was funny. I'll give you. Can I give you
Does
some?
it have to be current guys, or it can be anybody?
Anybody from the time the team came back to Los Angeles.
Oh, the time the team came back. Okay.
So Stafford, I think, was the one that people threw out a lot.
I got mine.
Witt was there too.
That's what I was going to say.
You were going to go Witt. Okay, so I threw out. What about Gurley? Because at one point, he was your guy. And you see what happens when you have a lead dog at running back.
NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with that.
It's funny you say that, because I would have said Todd as well. But I was thinking I was thinking Aqib Talib.
No doubt.
He came in, and that defense changed that year. Let's be like
the whole team changed.
The whole right, but you brought in Marcus Peters.
Yes.
All these guys, and Aqib kind of was the guy. I mean, I know.
I would go Jalen before Aqib.
Well, he won a Super Bowl.
For a couple reasons. He was part of the best defense in the league for a season in the pandemic year of 20, and then he was,
for a stretch, the
most
best.
instrumental piece in the back end of a Super Bowl.
Okay.
team. So I think I could make the case for Jalen, but it's hard to argue with left tackle on a Super Bowl championship team, Walter Payton Man of the Year.
No doubt.
Beating the team that you were drafted and raised by, like all the stars that align for Witt.
And also what he did for the culture here. I remember that first day when, you're older than the head coach, and the head coach chews you out for jumping off sides. You have to get out of practice, right? Normally, you got to have some humility there, being a vet like Witt was, to be able I messed up, let me get out.
DeMarco, let me put an addendum on my answer.
Go ahead.
There's one player on the field right now who I think can clinch that last spot in very short order, and he's the quarterback.
I was going to say less than 10, 9. Yes,
so
no
one
doubt.
of the things we've been talking about today, Maurice, is he a Hall of Famer right now? If not, what does he have to do to get in? How about this? Let me give you some of his peers, and I'll just give you Stafford and you take your pick, right? So Brady's going in, Rodgers is going in, Breeze is going in. Those are the guys that are like first ballot, just haven't had their time come up yet, right? How about starting from here, though? Matt Ryan or Matthew Stafford?
Oh, Matthew Stafford.
Even though Matt's got the MVP, Stafford's never even been All-Pro. That's the only argument.
That's tough, but yes, I still would say Stafford.
I think Ryan's chances will be good and will only grow because he's going to be on TV.
Yeah, but he still has the 28-3 thing hanging over.
Yeah,
that depends on who presents him.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
Matt Ryan, you answered. Matthew Stafford or Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, Ben's got 2, right?
Not only does he have 2, he played outdoors.
Yeah,
and Stafford's arm talent and his smarts, awesome. But he played inside for so long that
you're saying the counting stats
take something out.
Yeah, it's just like Big Ben.
That's a good one.
Big Ben played outdoors.
Yeah,
he was tough. And they won some. He played in a tough division where they had to go through Baltimore a couple times with Ray Lewis.
How about Stafford or Phillip Rivers?
Oh, Stafford.
Stafford. Yeah.
Okay. How about Stafford or Russell Wilson? This was one that came up this summer.
Stafford.
I would go Stafford. That's what your eyes tell.
That is a total 2 to 3 year reversal of narrative. Before he left Seattle, Russell Wilson was a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and now his star is crashing and burning a bit while Matthews is on the ascent.
Well, I feel like Russell, after that defense left, it was over for him because he had to then put everything on his shoulders, and when he messed up, it was magnified because the defense couldn't stop anyone.
Yeah.
When before, the defense would save him sometimes when he would make some mistakes. And, when they went to the let Russ cook, that kind of started
I
going
love
downhill.
Russ. I love Russ. But I'll say this. Every time this team went up to face Seattle, he was the second person you worried about.
Yes.
It was always beast mode first, and then Russell second.
Let's keep going. I got a couple more for you. Eli Manning or Matthew Stafford?
Matthew Stafford. But Eli has the 2.
Eli's getting in because he beat.
Yeah, he beat Tom Brady, and he got hot. He got hot 2 years.
Saved the world.
And he's a Manning.
Yes.
And he's a Manning. And then last one. Any case for Cam Newton, who also won an MVP?
I think if Cam wasn't so boisterous with all the stuff that he has, I think his play, Cam was that 2015 year. He was the best player, hands down, that we've seen in the NFL. I personally feel like. But when you look at the totality of what he did and then what Matthew Stafford has done, I think Stafford's at a higher level. Right
Longer sustained.
Yeah, he has every right to hate Von Miller. You know that?
Yo, no question.
Von Miller ruined everything for Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your
both
year.
in terms of taking the trophy and then also just the visual of that football being on the ground.
Yes.
and how it changed history. Okay, so, without adding all that up, you're leaning Hall of Fame for Matthew, and you're not just looking at that through Rams lenses.
No. I think to cement that, the Rams have to go to the playoffs again and go deep into the playoffs or win a Super Bowl. If you win a second Super Bowl, you go ahead of Eli because you have the stats and the championships to go with it. Even though championships, it's a team thing, but the quarterback, that puts you over the top. I mean, you talk about Terry Bradshaw, who won 4, but they had arguably like all these other dudes around. It was a team that won that, where Dan Marino didn't win anything.
Bradshaw was only a Pro Bowler 3 times.
But guess what? Won 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And that's what matters with
that's a lost art of quarterbacking. Hey, your job is just not to screw it up.
Yeah, win.
That's it. Yeah.
Your job
that's
is
all
to
you got
win.
to do. Yeah.
Figure it out. However it takes us to win.
Right.
If you're taking 3 knees and the defense is playing,
that's
we're
it.
Gonna win.
We win.
Yeah.
MJD, thanks for the mini
Yes,
reunion.
sir.
It won't be long.
You got imposters, man.
Regularly.
People showing up trying to use your name to get in. You didn't know this?
What happened this morning?
I was at my bed. I got a call from Drew. I was asleep. I landed at 7:30. I went in there. I worked out. I went to take a nap. My phone starts ringing. Jory's like, "Bro, are you in a limo?" I was like, "A limo?"
I haven't been in a limo since prom.
Since prom, literally. I'm in my bed, sleep right now. What's up? Someone's here. Says they're you. I was like, I have no idea who it is.
Wait, JB, retell that story in case people didn't miss it the first time.
So the story of the day here at Rams training camp, once again, the south entrance here on 80th and Loyola Boulevard is closed, except to LMU students. But someone pulled up at that gate this morning trying to get in, pulling up in a black limousine, using the name Maurice Jones-Drew to try and open doors.
What is going on?
And so calls started being made, and apparently they did let this individual in.
You better go check your credit.
Dude, I'm telling you what, man.
He could be at large roaming around campus right now.
What is going on?
He could be signing autographs.
I was in bed sleep. I promise you. I woke up and I was nervous because I thought I overslept because Jory's calling me, our boss, and I'm like, "Boss, man, what's up?" He's like, "Are you here?"
In a limo.
I was like, "Am I supposed to be?" Because right now it's 10:30. I'm supposed to be asleep.
I got an idea. Week 1. Let's all pull up to a plane
in a black limo.
No question.
I'll arrange it. It'll just stop at all of our front doors.
That'd be awesome.
And then we'll just let the team bus, start to unload.
It's like the prom.
And
we got to find this guy, Mo. I'm looking.
I'm not finding anybody. Good for him.
Yes, sir.
The
Good for them.
incomparable, the one and only, the never imitated Maurice Jones-Drew. Man, I am so excited about spending 24 with you guys.
It is time. I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Here we go again.
Back with more, including an interview with Kiren Williams, Rams running back, before we're through. With DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long. Producer Emily is with us as well on the Rams training camp special, live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Clear. Training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential
And he didn't
for
pull up
success.
on his bike like
With
me. He
Robert
came in
Half's
a
winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI will help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Rams fans, don't miss out on any of the action and catch every home game with 2024 season tickets. Watch the Rams go head-to-head with the Raiders, Eagles, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, and more at SoFi Stadium. We can't wait to see you back at the Rams house. To secure your season tickets, visit therams.com/2024. Again, that is therams.com/2024. Secure your season tickets and see you at the Rams house.
710 ESPN and the
Back in 30.
This fall, the new home of the USC Trojans.
The new home of the USC Trojans.
The Trojans are back.
The USC Trojans play on LA's mega sports station.
That's right. USC football, USC men's basketball, and USC women's basketball are on 710 ESPN coming this fall.
710 ESPN, the new home of the USC Trojans.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams training camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMarco Farr and J.B. Long.
Up and on.
And Emily Hebel as well, who has been prompting us to give a current state of the NFC West as part of our Rams training camp special, live from LMU on this Saturday and on your home for Rams football 710 ESPN. D. Farr making the rounds between our segments. A lot of good names and faces out here on a crowded day at LMU.
I got to make one point about Maurice. We love Maurice, right? He's so much fun. He's a great travel partner, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Always a good time.
Every time I see highlights of him on Twitter, I can't believe that's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This little bowling ball is actually you. Wow, that's amazing.
I liked his Mount Rushmore of MJD card-holding, shorter stature running back.
Yes.
That's a pretty good group.
They're
right?
back
From
in vogue.
Barry to Campbell and Marshawn.
Tough to tackle, my man. Yes, but yes. Making the rounds, enjoying talking about flag football, too. Man, that is really growing.
Flag football.
Girls flag football is exploding.
Yeah.
It is
I saw OBJ's daughter get a one-handed grab like her dad.
No way.
Yeah, it was pretty sick, yeah.
That's who I was just talking to. I guess he's the coordinator for the flag football programs.
So could she be an Olympian when
Maybe.
LA
I'm not sure how
2028
old
brings
she
flag
is.
football? Okay.
So, we'll have to see. But, 2028, it's going to be here, flag football. So, they can have both the men's and women's team, and USA could take gold in both, maybe.
Yeah, I always said, look, if you made history and you actually put a female out here and playing professional football, even just for practice, you're making history.
Yeah.
It would be at receiver. And it's going to come from that flag football program.
Not kicking, because I know that Carly Lloyd has talked about how she actually got calls from the NFL.
Yeah, like get Alex Morgan out
here.
Yeah,
get a great kicker. But
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely going to be cool. If a Ram could end up on the flag football team, if you could put one Ram on that flag football team for the Olympics in 2028, who would you want on that team?
So it's got to be a younger player to still be.
So contact is out. It's just flag football.
Yes, it's just an evasive guy.
Tutu Atwell, and you'd never you lose. I'd kill you every single time.
I'm gonna put Jordan Whittington out there.
Oh,
I've
nice.
heard really good things about this rookie receiver, and maybe because of his youth and by then his NFL seasoning, he might be a good pass catching option.
What did you hear? Give me the scuttlebutt.
Well, when Cooper was with us on set the other day, he mentioned that Jordan had just got some reps with the ones, and he kind of had a nice play down the sideline. That he probably stepped out, but it looked like a touchdown on tape, at least at first blush.
Yeah.
And look, when they let Ben Skoranek go, who did so many things on kick game and dirty work.
Yes, fullback, at receiver, slot guy, ex-receiver. Just
when they were able to draft Jordan and then felt like they had the luxury of letting Ben go to let him pursue his immediate NFL future and maybe get a better pass-catching opportunity with another team, that to me was a sign that they had big expectations for this former Texas Longhorn.
I can't wait to see what he looks like during games and how they're going to use him and what his role is going to be. Look, if you can be a jack of all trades in this offense at receiver and provide some special teams, you can play here for a long time and be very, very effective. Not just have a job. I mean, that could be an advantage towards winning when you have a guy that can actually be a cover dude, but actually be a part of your offense at the same time. That's just an added weapon that most teams don't have.
And we've seen, Matthew Stafford be the archetype of the greatest receiving seasons of all time.
He's a kingmaker, isn't he?
Exactly. And so, if you're like Whittingham and you can just get that connection with Stafford, even if you're not the number one, not the number two maybe, but you get that connection with Stafford, he can unlock things for you. Totally. And so maybe we'll see another. I don't think it's going to be exactly a Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp season.
There'll never be another Puka.
Exactly. But, we can see something great.
All right, so NFC West. Should we start at the top?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even like saying that.
We just did. There. How about that?
How about with the defending champions?
Fair. They earned that.
Hey, does this 49ers group have a little bit of Last Dance feel to you?
Window's closing. You're going to have to do something with Purdy at some point.
Uh-huh.
Who's the window for, though? Is the window Purdy?
For this group.
McCaffrey?
Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey.
Warner, Ayuk. Everything that's made them.
Bunga needs a contract.
Yeah, some of these guys are going to go because you're going to have to pay the quarterback. You're going to have to pay him, 25%, 22% of the salary cap?
Unless, I know this is a tangent that is going to derail our NFC West conversation, but remember when Jared Goff kind of sparked the conversation about at what point do you just keep drafting rookie, trying to get capable starting quarterback play on a rookie contract? So, if you do draft a starter, let him go rather than paying him that second contract and use the trade equity that you get back to try and find the next one. So,
makes sense.
The 49ers, I think, are now in that target window because they went all in to get Trey Lance and it went bust, and the only reason they're not completely upside down right now is because they found Mr. Irrelevant who almost led them to a world championship.
But they're going to have to pay Purdy, right?
Or not.
Or trade him.
Maybe they're saying, hey, if ever there was a time to just let 4 years be 4 years and then trade him, franchise and tag and trade him, and then try and find the next Purdy. It's the Shanahan system.
Yes.
It's keeping those other stars.
That's the best way out of it. That is the best way out of it if you want to keep that unit intact. But
you'd have to be Teflon to be willing to take that idea to market, wouldn't you?
Because if it fails, you're done.
Yeah.
You're absolutely done.
A lot of people believe that you could honestly plug any competent quarterback into the 49ers and you're getting to the playoffs and deep in the playoffs because of the talent around that team, not just the quarterback. And not that Purdy isn't a good quarterback or even a great quarterback, but it's he didn't have to be the most spectacular person in the field because that's everyone else around him.
He's not. I was impressed by Purdy. I think we were talking before the night we played the Niners, and you brought up his mobility, and then you get to see it live. The guy can actually move in the pocket.
Can scoot.
He can get out, and he's got a pretty good arm, and he can run the offense. So that's a pretty good quarterback. I'll give you this. He doesn't stink. He's not a guy that just absolutely is just flat bad, and the team is winning in spite of him. He is a member of that squad. He is part of the reason why they're good. But
I thought you were going to say part of the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo is in that huddle about
and that too.
70 yards away from us wearing his red number 11 jersey.
And that too. But, at some point you're going to wind up having to pay him. They're having issues now. Did Trent Williams go back to camp, or is he still out?
Still out.
So Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, everybody has their hand out. That's just the modern NFL.
And Christian McCaffrey has been remarkably healthy for the past 2 seasons, and that is not a pattern for him.
Emily, you make me think the Super Bowl hangover is such a cliche, but how many extra games can you play year over year over year before it starts to catch up with you?
Bro, look, it was 1 year for me, and I felt it. Everybody felt it. You saw it firsthand. That's a long way to go from training camp all the way through to the Super Bowl. I told Aaron this when we did talk about the Super Bowl, and Whit, it's going to feel like you went right from the parade float right into training camp. It's a long season, and to do it year after year after year, it's going to wear on you. You're playing extra ball, an entire extra season. Yeah.
Can I tack on with one reason why it might come to roost this year? And this is courtesy of Warren Sharp, who tracks this net rest disadvantage when the schedule is made. Here's what he says. The 49ers have the largest net rest disadvantage. They're minus 21 days in the last decade of NFL football.
Minus 21 days.
Yeah, so nearly a third of all NFL games feature a rest disparity this season.
Yeah.
Where some team is playing on a Monday and then spinning around for Sunday. The 49ers will go back-to-back seasons now having the most brutal scheduling disadvantage in terms of rest relative to their opponent.
Well, I got all the respect in the world for that group. They are as good as advertised. They are as tough as nails, and there's 1,000 ways they can beat you. But the one thing that is undefeated is time. and their window is closing. If they don't get it done, and once you start paying that QB, that team as you know it will start to disassemble right before your eyes.
Emily, you tell me. We've talked 49ers. Should we save Seahawks and Cardinals to close out this hour? Coach us up here.
Yeah, let's do Cardinals and Seahawks next. And I think by the time we get through with that conversation, we might be having Kiren Williams up.
It is a breezy, sunny, ideal, perfect afternoon here on the west side, and it's the Rams training camp special live from LMU on your home for Rams football 710 ESPN.
Clear.
Rams training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JP Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football 710 ESPN.
Don't miss Trav and Slee.
Back Monday morning at 10 a.m. It's the Mid-Morning Spectacular.
Goobers were a movie theater snack that you could get when I was a kid. They're just chocolate-covered peanuts, but they're called Goobers. And they had Goobers at the movie that Slee and I went to last night.
I didn't have much.
I gave a few to Deshay, and I ate the rest of the box.
Yeah, I was like, Trav, look, I've been eating well lately. He's like, no, absolutely. And then he's just taking down the box.
Trav and Slee, weekdays after Unsportsmanlike.
On 710 ESPN.
Next Gen is the official AC Heat and Plumbing Company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Next Gen is the absolute best in the biz with thousands of 5-star reviews and happy customers. Right now, get an $88 drain cleaning, and they'll add in a free plumbing camera inspection. So, if you're sick of dealing with a slow drain, call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN and say goodbye to your AC heating and plumbing problems.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN.
Join your Angels for every Saturday night home game and stay to enjoy a post-game Saturday night fireworks show driven by SoCal Honda dealers. Visit angels.com/promotions for more details.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester CVT for just $299 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. SH $4097.39. MSRP $31,793. $28.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SFB-01.
I spent a lot of time in the garage.
Marissa looks like a cheerleader.
But even more time in the rain and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me.
Fight, win.
Chains. Dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
That's throwback, isn't it?
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
they get a break
can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth
they only get 11
or
hours with them total
Covenant
in a day.
House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth.
That's why being here is so important, is they didn't want to waste any of those 11 hours to and from the hotel.
And then they get
coming back now.
They get time after.
Yeah. Special. On your home of Rams football 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMarco Fall.
Up and on.
All right, the Rams finish up practice. The final horn has sounded. Back with DeMarco Farr, JB Long. We're just moments away from chatting with Rams running back Kiren Williams to preview his 2024 campaign after erupting onto the scene and down the stretch being the most productive running back in the National Football League.
He's Hollywood, right? Look at him. That's Hollywood good looks, right? Come on now.
Why don't we buzz through Seahawks and Cardinals?
Okay.
And to catch Kiren the top of the hour. That sounds good to you?
Fair enough.
We talked about the Niners. Let's preview the Seahawks next, who go from having the oldest coach in the NFL, Pete Carroll, to now the youngest, hiring Mike McDonald from the Ravens, where they were the first modern NFL team to lead the league in scoring defense, takeaways, and sacks. Now, DeMarco, he's not bringing all those Ravens with him.
No.
But there's some good defensive players already in the Pacific Northwest.
So here's the fence. Let me jump on this side. excellent hire by the Seahawks. Excellent hire, hiring McDonald. Perfect for up there, especially if he gets that defense humming again. There is no louder place in the NFC than that joint when it's hopping. Jump over here. How dare you say firing Pete Carroll was good for the Seahawks? That just hurts me to my very football core. That is football to me. Explain that.
He did so well to sustain competitive excellence, both here in L.A. and then in Seattle. But I think the ceiling had been reached several years ago, and I'm looking at it through Rams-tinted lenses, which is to say
Sean had him.
The Rams had as much success against the Seahawks other than, say, the Arizona Cardinals, who we'll talk about next. Like, that was a favorable, comfortable, successful matchup in the Rams' favor.
No doubt. Remember, was it the 42-7 up there that changed everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they walked in, they were talking trash, and
the
42
Rams didn't clinch the West that day in 2017, but for all intents and purposes, they slammed the door on the Legion of
there was a whole lot of clinching in that stadium. Yes. I can't believe what I was saying. So I get you. So, I mean, I guess breaking it down, drilling down, Sean has defeated Pete Carroll, and it wasn't going to change. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not universally, not every Sunday on the schedule, but more often than not, it seemed like the Rams had the better of that head.
100%. Okay, I see. Like I said, this is a great hire. If you are Seattle and you're thinking about how do I be successful? How do I become more successful in the NFC West? I got to get tougher because of San Fran. And I've got to find somebody that can outthink this guy in L.A. Right?
Yep.
That's what I said. Great hire by Seattle.
They went for the new youngest head football coach in the National Football League. He just happens to be a defensive mind. Now, speaking of defense, they also drafted this Byron Murphy kid who's already, I don't know if you've heard this, he's already been drawing comparisons to Aaron Donald. The Seahawks faithful think they found their Aaron Donald of the next generation.
Okay, we're sitting at the draft house. We had those combos. Yes. Who do you want? Who do I want?
Well, I wanted him.
How many times did you hear me say Byron Murphy?
Yeah,
a lot.
Quite a bit.
I think I tried. I tried to bring that into existence. But, yeah, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be an issue. And like we said, to me, Seattle is a defensive city because of crowd noise. And if he gets them going and revives the 12s, you've got issues in Seattle again.
I'll say this. I liked re-signing Kevin Dotson.
Yeah.
I really liked bringing in Jonah Jackson from Detroit. And then I liked it a whole lot more once I saw Seattle draft that young man.
And Steve Avila. I mean, you and Maurice have been talking about getting bigger up front for years. The smaller, skinnier, more athletic guards, it was working. And I see how that stretches a defense, especially if you want to go through teams like Seattle with Murphy, if he pans out, and San Francisco. You're going to have to get shoe to shoe and root people out. So I hope you are built for those two teams and that guy in particular if he grows.
I think we'd all agree. San Francisco, Seattle, and Los Angeles out of the NFC West, viable playoff, if not championship contenders, correct?
Yes, the wild card's coming out of the West. How about that?
I have been beating this drum really since January, February. I think the Cardinals are poised to make a leap. And other than Seattle, like we said, the Rams have not had more success than any opponent except for Arizona. Like, they have absolutely had the Cardinals' number, have never lost in the desert phase leadership. And more so than any other defensive player, Aaron Donald completely tortured Kyler Murray. And so we have a skewed perspective on the Cardinals because seldom, if ever, do we see their best. So long as 99 was out there, Kyler Murray was never able to put his MVP caliber form on the field against the Rams.
And you have to factor that in. So 5 years from now, when they're debating Aaron Donald getting into the Hall of Fame, you have to factor that in. It's measurable. If you look at Russell Wilson's career versus everybody else and then versus Russell, it's going to change. Kyler Murray is the same way. Remember all these games? 2 years ago when they were, undefeated or 7-1? They were hot. They were killing people on offense. This is when he had the 19-second play, when he was playing otherworldly ball, and then they bumped into the Rams and the guy changes. So how good is Kyler Murray? I don't know, because every time he's been out there, so is Aaron. That changes things. But I think you're going to see the real guy now in Arizona, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. is down there.
You took me there.
Yes.
For a Rams defense right now that is looking for new solutions in the secondary, having to face that guy twice per year is going to be a bit of a chore. But I also just wanted to tack on, oftentimes it's not year one after an ACL injury, but year two where things come back full circle.
Yes.
And so I think there's reason to believe that the Arizona Cardinals could be dangerous, and they're also going to be early on this schedule.
And they've cleared out
Detroit straight to Arizona.
So from the top down, Arizona is a changed and different football team.
I don't know if they're changing different on defense.
No, I mean just from decision making.
Culture, coaching, yes. Potent on offense. Could be dangerous, could be sneaky good. We'll see if defense they've made the necessary strides. All right, we'll stop here with the fans roaring for autographs with us at LMU as Puka Nacua jogs over to sign a few footballs. And when we come back at the top of the hour, Kiren Williams, Rams running back, will join us here on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Clear.
Rams training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Jourdan and Cap for your afternoon drive.
The fun way to drive home on 710.
Oh, wow, man. He, as a wrestler, dude, I mean, how long has it been since he's wrestled? Because this guy's
Dave Bautista's been
20 years.
Yeah,
dude, he's 55 years old.
Yeah.
But, man, back in the day, dude, he was all sauced out of his face.
He was great. And then he had, like, the falling out with them, and then they weren't going to let him in the Hall of Fame, and it was a whole thing. And then,
oh, my God. If you could guarantee me I could have that body, I'll take every steroid he took.
The LA Afternoon Takeover with Jourdan and Cap. Monday at 4 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
If one game can get you into the Hockey Hall of Fame, this was it.
Hobie Baker starred for Princeton University in hockey and only athlete in both the College Football and Hockey Halls of Fame.
The whole atmosphere was electric when he was playing. You couldn't ignore him, this kind of blonde Adonis.
As famous as he was in his day, he is little remembered now. 30 for 30 podcast presents Searching for Hobie Baker. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Shopping for your next truck? Save time, save money, and experience the 5-star service that made George Chevrolet Chevy's Dealer of the Year 6 years in a row. Take advantage of great offers during the Chevy Summer Drive event and take home a new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Crew Cab with $10,000 in total savings off MSRP. Visit them today or shop online at georgechevy.com.
He has
Chevrolet.
This
Together,
camp.
Let's drive.
Discount calculated off MSRP on select models. Offer ends 7/31/24. See dealer for details or call 866-949-4805.
Coming up Monday at 4 p.m.
It's the LA Afternoon Takeover with Jourdan and Cap.
So you want the breakdown? Here's the breakdown. I don't know if I'm invited into the TV building. I don't know if I am entitled to go use this facility or I'm not entitled to use it. So my first thing was, hi, I'm Scott Kaplan. I'm one of the afternoon drive hosts, or however I phrased it. I'd love to use this facility if it were available to me. And I replied all. And by the way, as soon as I did it, I received my own email. And I thought to myself, what the hell did I just do?
Back in 30.
And a screenshot in the group chat, and I said, oh no, I replied all. How many people did I reply all to? Did I embarrass myself? Oh my goodness. And then everybody just started pounding on me.
Jourdan and Cap, every weekday after Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN. 710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
Here we go, Saturday, July 27th, 2024. This is the Rams Training Camp Special, live from Loyola Marymount University. And today, as we get you ready for the full season of Rams football, Day 3 of Rams Training Camp and a very special show. Rams Training Camp Special on 710 ESPN, hosted by the voice of the Rams, JB Long.
Back shoulder, Cooper Kupp's got it! Cooper Kupp brings it in! Touchdown, L.A.!
And Rams Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. JB and DeMarco have you covered on this Saturday with all the sights, the sounds, the accoutrement from Rams Training Camp.
Today, the road back to the Super Bowl begins.
Hi, this is Coach Sean McVay. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
By the way, we will see today if JB Long pays back. Our afternoon man, Scott Kaplan, Cappy, with a little impersonation.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, DeMarco and I will be here Saturday with 3 hours to ourselves.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. That's a lot of talk real estate for me to come up with some Cappy Cap. Just drive around and keep your radio on.
Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Go.
Yeah. You'll be in the show.
Let's do it. Party, party, oh party at Rams Training Camp. Our Rams Training Camp special on 710 ESPN kicks off right now.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. It's time for Rams Training Camp.
On your home of Rams football.
Live from LMU and the practice field of Rams Training Camp with DeMarco Farr. Here is the voice of your
Up and on.
JB Long.
The Rams just finishing up this Saturday workout. They'll be here at LMU for another week through next Saturday, and then a joint practice against the Chargers as they break camp next Sunday. 43 days until Detroit, the Week 1 Sunday Night Football kickoff. The Rams right where last year finished. Matthew Stafford taking the Royal and Soul to the Motor City.
What is proper reply all protocol? Just asking.
Don't do it unless it's a small group of select people whose approval you would almost guarantee.
Okay. Okay. Is that Emily?
Yeah, it has to be like a group chat. It has to be a small group of people, and everyone's expected to weigh in on something.
Yeah.
It's the only time the reply all is available.
Yeah, I just hit replies. I think I'm like Cap. Sometimes it just happens. Look at this dude. Come on in here. Right over here.
Joining us
yes,
now
sir.
is soon-to-be 24-year-old running back Kiren Williams.
Right there. Swole up.
Look
at you.
Here at LMU between DeMarco Farr and JB Long. My fellow Golden Domer, Kiren Williams.
JB,
what's up, buddy?
As always, man.
Great to see you.
You just hugged him. He just practiced, man. That's
gross. All right. Hey, that ain't going to hurt nobody. I take showers. Trust.
My man. How'd practice go?
Doing good, Still some things to work on. I'm frustrated right now because there's some things I didn't press the hole as much as I wanted to today. So I want to get back to that, get to the film, and be able to see that so I can fix that and come Monday, be better.
You're hard on yourself, aren't you?
Very hard on myself. I'm trying to be great. I want to be one of the best.
Like when you say best, who is that? Who's your favorite? Who's the guy you're chasing in your mind? I used to think I was Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
And then I was slow, so I became a D lineman. Who's your guy you're chasing?
I think I'm chasing just I would say Barry Sanders, but I think I'm just chasing just the greatness. I don't even know how to. I can see it in my head, but it's hard to explain. I just want to be able to be respected by my peers. When people say Kiren Williams, they were like, "Man, he's a great running back."
Yeah.
He was able to do this, and that, and I just want to be able to the work that I put in get rewarded for it. And so I guess I'm chasing Barry Sanders, and I guess to me he's the greatest running back. Obviously because he was able to do, and I kind of see myself moving like him a little bit. So I just want to be able to, chase that vision I have for myself, but also I guess chase Barry Sanders as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
No player in the NFL averaged more rushing yards per game than this man between us, Kiren Williams, as he prepares for another go-round in 2024. It's not just when your hand is on the football. What are some of the other things that you're trying to perfect, really, that make this offense go?
Protecting number 9, baby. Protecting that, stirring up the protection whenever people do want to send the nickel blitzers or they want to send fire zone from the linebacker. Just being able to read those, see those, and make things happen. But also being able to catch the ball out in space and get some catches out there and be able to show what I can do in green grass and be elusive and just being able to just be who I am.
What is that like? For you, playing with a guy like that, playing with him.
I don't want to do too much fanboying, but it's awesome. It's pretty cool because I was, as a young kid, you watch Matthew Stafford. Obviously, he's been around for a long time. He's been great for a long time. So it's something I love football. So I've been watching it since I could remember. I don't remember. But it's cool being around a guy, a future Hall of Famer, and just see how he attacks the day and seeing how he's just not satisfied to get everything he wants. Yes, I said future Hall of Famer.
No, I got you. We're there. You heard that. JB's
kind of been our theme.
We've
of the
been
day.
talking about that the whole time. Go ahead.
Is he there yet? And if not, what does he need to do between now and when he's done? That's kind of been one of our topics.
Ask all the kids in 2000; they'll tell you.
No doubt.
Right.
But aura aside, just that. What does he do to a defense that helps you as a running back?
Oh, he's a pass threat. They're thinking he's going to throw the ball, sling the ball, and whenever we get into those maybe third down, short, and they're thinking that we're going to pass it, and we hit them with the run, it's like they're backing up already. They're already thinking it's going to be a pass because we got Matthew Stafford back there, and they know Coach McVay loves the things that Matthew Stafford can do, and so being able to just kind of have that threat and allow me to be able to run the ball, it makes it a lot easier.
Can we nerd out for a bit? I wanted to ask you, Kiren, about what the Rams found in the middle of last year going to more pistol formations. And able to spark run and pass with, putting Matthew Stafford between the center and you. And DeMarco, also from your perspective, what stress it puts on a defense when you have a running back in the home position, but a quarterback who can see you from the snap.
So when I think a pistol, it should be illegal. That's my perspective.
Why do you think that, though?
Because it sucks. Never mind. Go ahead. You tell me. There's just nothing we can do.
Yeah.
We're wrong either
Can't
way.
set to a side.
Exactly.
No strong,
it makes us wrong no matter what we do, and I can't stand that. But go ahead.
I was just wondering, because that's why I'm kind of like, as you said, we kind of switched over to it mid-season, and I've been able to feel good in it. I like being able to be in the pistol because it does allow us to. You can't tell between if we're going to run or pass. There is no tell in our offense, and so being able just to be able to mix it all up, it's cool, and it allows us to be a real versatile offense. I really feel like we can hit you from all different angles. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, if this offense is built around marrying run and pass and making passes look like runs and runs look like passes,
it helps.
I'm not sure you can get to it any better in terms of Matthew's preferences than being right there in the pistol.
Yeah, that's
kind of like the perfect marriage.
Right.
As you look back on 2023, what was your fondest memory?
Honestly, just seeing all the hard work rewarded, I guess. Just being able to get in that position and being able to do what I did and being able to excel the way I did, and being able to just have fun. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life, and I was able to get it, and I ran with it. I'm blessed to be around the people that I am every single day, from the players to the coaches to the strength staff to the training staff, everybody. I love being here, and it just allowed me last year to be able to really fall back into just who I was, and that's just all a around guy who just loves football.
My favorite was when your mom ripped that football.
Oh my God, yes.
I'll never forget that.
Nah, not many people will. It's crazy because so that was a Thursday night game. Or no, that was not even a Thursday night. We were just coming home.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, dip and rip. They're like, we saw you on TV, steal that ball from that guy, and it was so cool just being able to have my mom get attention, because like she's right behind. She's literally got me to where I'm at right now. She's the main focus, the main piece of where that pushed me to this level, to get me where I'm at. So to be able to have her get some attention, some love, it's awesome. I love it.
No matter how many yards, touchdowns, you're still her baby.
Oh yeah.
She'll get out there and protect you
at all costs.
Absolutely,
at all costs.
Watching Puka, watching you, transition to becoming, pros and then stars in Los Angeles. How has your life been impacted by your success on the football field?
I don't really try. Let it get to me too much. I like to stay humble. I don't really like. I play football, but my mom always told me as a little kid, don't ever identify yourself as a football player. That's just what you do. You're good at it, but don't allow that to, don't allow that to be an ego-driven thing. Just allow that to be something you love and you do. So for me, it's cool. It's nowadays, or from my rookie year to now, I'll go to the store and some people might recognize me and everything, and it's a blessing because I was once that kid. Like if I saw an NFL player. When I was a kid, I'd be like, oh my God, like I would freeze up, and so just being able to be in that position now where I'm at, it's a really cool feeling. It's a cool feeling.
One of those kids out there is going to play football.
Exactly.
Probably become a pro because they met you.
Exactly.
Isn't that awesome?
And that's just how I was. I remember being in St. Louis in Earth City. My mom was able to get us tickets to Rams training camp, and I was just out the field watching the games. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but growing up, I was always at the Rams home games. I'm Edward Jones Dome. I'm watching Steven Jackson. I'm watching the Rams go to work, and just being able to see that just firsthand, it allowed me to realize that dream is possible. Nobody can't tell me anything because I seen it happen. I can visually saw it, and here I am now. And so every time I get a chance to give back, I do it.
The how it started picture with Steven Jackson and how it's going with Steven Jackson will always be one of my favorites. We're chatting with Kiren Williams, Rams running back, live from Rams training camp and our special here at LMU on your homes for Rams football 710 ESPN. Tell us about your relationship so far with Blake Corum, the rookie running back out of Michigan.
Yeah, it's definitely cool, and it's growing for sure because I knew him before he even got drafted. We was down at the same place. We were training at Bomberitos. He was doing his draft prep, and I was just down there working out. And so I was able to meet him there. We had the same agents as well, so I was able to meet him down there. We were able to get hang out, get dinner, whatnot. And so being able to be together on a team is awesome. I can't wait to see what we are able to do. And I just from these first 3 days of practice, seeing how we were able to feed off each other, all backs making everything work after every single everybody's runs, it's a cool feeling, and I'm excited for what the season has.
Are you more similar or different, though?
What do you mean?
What's that?
Are you more similar or different? Everyone says, they drafted Blake to be just like Kiren Williams.
All the running backs pretty much look the same, except for one. Yeah,
that's what they say. But no, I think I don't want to take away from what he does, and I don't want to take away from what I do. You know, I think we're great players. We both are able to play this football game very well. So I don't want to compare, Blake's like me or I'm like him. Nah, we're able to play this game the way that we play, and the things that we do and things that we bring to this game is the reason why we're here in the NFL right now. And so we're both good. You know, we're both great players, and I'm excited for, like I said, I'm excited for what the season has in store for us.
I love to compete as long as you can make me better. I love it. Exactly. Love it. Bring what you got because I'm going to bring more.
Exactly.
Is that Cam Curl?
Yes, it is.
Good Lord, that's a big safety. That is a big dude.
Yeah.
Anybody stand out on defense? I mean, obviously, who's not here? Aaron. And there's room for other people to take big leaps, become leaders out here. Anybody step up or stand out to you on defense so far?
I would say early on, like you said, just missing AD is a huge piece, but I think Fisk is, right there. I think I don't think he's skipping many beats. I think he's getting to the backfield very well. He's being able to use his hands, and Coach McVay was showing his film today in the offensive room or in the team room today. He was working.
He's got some feet.
He got some work. He got some feet. Got some hands, and he's quick. And so I'm excited for what the defense has to bring. With Verse and Ernest and Boom and Troy and all those guys in the secondary. I'm super excited to what they have to bring in store because we're going to be an all-around team this year.
Pads Monday, right? This will be fun.
Football starts on Monday, baby.
Chatting with Kiren Williams here. One of my favorite things about the style that you and the Rams developed in your running game last season was that little moment of hesitation when you take that handoff. And you're playing games. You're playing cat and mouse with that linebacker across from you. I call it a little hezzy step, almost like a basketball hesitation step. What do you call it?
Shoot, I don't know, patience.
Do you do it naturally, intrinsically? Is it something that you and Ron Gould have to work on?
Nah, I feel like that's just something that I learned. I don't even think I learned at Notre Dame, but once I learned how to, because coming into Notre Dame, I wasn't running back. I played a lot of slot receiver, so I had to learn how to be a running back, and I feel like that's just something I developed from over time, just because my coach always told me keep your shoulders square and press the lines, and so that's what my focus was, and whatever my feet do, they do, and so I don't really there's nothing I do. It's probably more instinctively than I don't think about it.
But it's a product of patience, which is a great attribute for someone like you running behind this offensive line that they've assembled.
On the run schemes that we have, you definitely need patience for sure. It definitely helps a lot, and I'm glad I do it.
I just like your O-line. They're huge. That's some big dudes up front.
You got some big beef up there.
You got some big, wide bodies in front of you.
Yes.
That's got to make you happy.
Oh, it makes me a lot happy.
Yeah.
It makes me very happy.
Makes us happy.
Being able just to have those guys, the guys that we returned, K-Dot and all those guys, as well as bringing Jonah in. That was a great piece for our offense, and I'm excited. I'm just super stoked for what we have in store.
Dude, you are all marked up. Your whole body.
Oh yeah,
you're a mural.
So look, see, this is.
No, don't tell me. We got to go.
It's a funny story though.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's not really funny, kids, but
never mind.
My mom told me growing up I could never have tattoos. And I told Mom once I turn 18 and I go to college, I'm gonna get so many tattoos. And once I did that, she, I was like, sorry, Mom.
Mom's revenge. I love
it. Here's to many more occasions to commemorate and a great, healthy season in front of you,
appreciate you guys. Thank you for
Thanks for being here.
Fun stuff. Yes, sir.
Kiren Williams, Rams running back, set for his age 24 season with DeMarco Farr, JB Long. We'll step aside here at Rams training camp. Our special live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Thank you.
Clear.
Training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Travis and Sliwa.
All the way live from LA Live. Back Monday at 10 a.m.
This is how a revolution in sports starts, Al. We're gonna make the United States the handball mecca of the world. I don't know you said France is number one seed.
Yeah, France is number one. Norway is right behind them. I think the Netherlands
are we in
top
it?
5. No, I think this is similar to soccer. We're just nowhere in it.
Yeah, we have a team, but we're not going to win.
Yeah.
We need to build our own golden generation of handball players so we can really compete at the highest level. Especially here in Southern California, we have some of the best athletes in the world.
Sure.
Why can't we put some of those athletes go play some handball? Concussions happen.
That's a good question.
Injuries happen. What if we took everybody that's playing soccer, put them into handball?
I always got
the president of the USA Handball Association.
It's the Mid-Morning Spectacular.
Don't miss Travis Slee, live from LA Live.
710 ESPN.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, you didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Dive into the Marvel Universe on the official Marvel Podcast. We're going behind the scenes with the creators behind Marvel Comics, the stars of the MCU, and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige.
But if you want the real answer, if we're trying to get real on this podcast,
celebrate the legacy of your favorite Marvel adventures and characters. The official Marvel Podcast.
I think this show's going to be a real treat.
New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
Next Gen is the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. That's right, Next Gen is the absolute best in the biz and has thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. Right now, you can get an $88 drain cleaning. That's right, an $88 drain cleaning, and they'll add in a free plumbing camera inspection. So, if you're sick of dealing with a slow drain, just call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN and say goodbye to all of your AC heating or plumbing problems. Next Gen includes water, plumbing, heater, and AC safety inspections. Prioritize the safety of your loved ones at home. NextGen is the only name you need to remember for a safe, comfy home. And if you're concerned about the air quality in your home or have allergy problems, call NextGen and breathe easy with indoor air quality solutions to fit any budget. That's 833-3-NEXTGEN or visit nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule online today.
NEXGEN, call 833-3-NEXTGEN. In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
Back in 30.
Tonight. Oh, in the jungle, the quiet jungle, the sheep sleeps tonight. Oh,
It just isn't the same without the lion. Join the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance today. Visit sdzwa.org.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams training camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMarco Farr.
Up and on.
Now, it was a star-studded day here at LMU. Lexi Brown of the Sparks, the latest to make an appearance, just had a chat with Puka Nacua, who's now signing autographs. DeMarco Farr, JB, along with you. Puka, of course, should have been NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year last season. Just picked a wrong time to have a record-setting season. Stand by, DeMarco. Let's run that
There
back.
we go.
Oh,
I said.
Nice to hear you.
C.J. Stroud had a
headset.
fantastic year. He's a first-round pick. You know, tie goes to the quarterbacks. It is what it is. It is what it is, we know. But, I mean, look, you can't erase what Puka did. Every defensive coordinator is now thinking of him and how to stop him. That's the issue. So even though you didn't get the trophy, you're still going to get what comes with it.
And the coolest part, the 20th receiver taken in the draft. A 5th-round pick, not a first-rounder like this year's number 19 overall selection, Jared Verse. DeMarco, as they wrap up practice, I think now that we put eyes on this class of 2024, can we just take a quick buzz through maybe the first couple of rounds and some of the rookies, the first impression that they've made? And let's start with the edge out of Florida State, Jared Verse.
Oh, gosh. I mean, look, I'd almost forgotten. I think I said this a long time ago, what a first-round defensive end looks like. I know he's standing up. He's an outside linebacker. He's edge. That's what we call him now. But that's what a real first-round edge guy or defensive end looks like. He's big. This is his first year. He stands out. He looks like a man already. He's only going to grow into the part. He's very, very physical. He works on his craft. It's a good, safe pick for any football team to pick a guy like him. And it only benefits the Rams, who are looking for pass rush when you can bring it off the edge. My only wish for him is I wish you could have played with Aaron. Then you'd be like, oh, my God, look out. But even with that, he's going to develop into something special.
Monday, when they put the pads on, I think it'll be a slightly different story because he's been virtually unstoppable in shorts and a T-shirt so far.
Oh, they're going to pay. But Braden Fisk, too. I mean, look, we call sweats All-American. The O-line can only do so much. Part of playing O-line is a physical price you have to pay for being out of position. You can't do that without pads. I can't bury you. But on Monday, there's nowhere to hide. So all that quick stuff, all that jumping over the center, all that making Steve Avila look bad, yeah, you're going to get paid back when the pads come on.
As for that round 2 selection, Braden Fisk, who the Rams had to move up to take in the second round on the start of day 2 at defensive tackle. According to ESPN's draft pick valuations, the Rams' trade up for Fisk was the most expensive day 2 quote-unquote overpay of at least the last 6 drafts. Now, hold on.
Say that again.
I understand that they gave up a lot. 52, 155, and a second-round pick next year to Carolina. But if I'm telling you that they thought Braden Fisk was a first-round talent and they would have spent a first-round pick on him, then why not be willing to give up a 2 next year to make sure that he pairs with his teammate out of Florida State?
So, in a nutshell, he's the most expensive second-round pick this year?
Yeah, the Rams to
get
make sure that he is in their facility. But I will say I know some members of the Rams, draft brain trust wanted him as much or more than any player in this class, regardless of where they were selected.
It shows up. It was evident from day one, the way he goes, the way he plays. Even Kiren mentioned, that's a running back. That's the guy that's staring at him the most when they're practicing. The guy gets up the field. He absolutely gets, where the food is. You got to jump this to get over there. But I think that might be the last time you'll mention how expensive he was in the second round.
Let's
I think
hope.
At some point you'll be saying you got him for a song in the second. You were lucky. I remember with Aaron, with all the stuff that we say about Aaron, the best player I've ever seen. I think he was, 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was question marks about whether they should take him or not. So, and then all that went away the first time you saw him in pads. I think you're going to see the same thing with Fisk.
I mean, if you looked at Kiren Williams and Puka Nacua, they were not first or second round draft picks either, and they turn out to be integral parts of the offense. So your draft placement isn't necessarily always equate to what you end up being as a career.
And that Rookie of the Year. See, what makes us look less stupid? Giving it to a 5th round pick, which means you guys all missed,
right,
or to give it to a first round?
Well, that's what I loved about kind of the backstory throughout last year was the humility with which Les Snead and everyone on down in the organization treated Puka's success. It was like, hey, we celebrate it. We love it. Clearly we're benefiting from it. But you'll excuse us for not reaching around to pat ourselves on the back because if we knew he was going to catch more passes and rack up more yards than any rookie receiver in NFL history, we would not have waited as long as we did to make him.
We would have played that ace a long time ago, right?
They did not wait long, though, to draft the backup to the man we just talked to, Kiren Williams, at 83 overall, Blake Corum out of Michigan, who had 45 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 seasons, tops among all college running backs.
Intriguing, man. Look, Kiren has the lead, back, and then Corum spelling him at some point, and then even backups. It's like Ezekiel Elliott and Polk in Dallas. At some point, the backup becomes the lead guy, and you still keep it for the way it looks. You keep Zeke as your number 1 guy because that's what he's earned, and then the backup is actually the threat. Who knows? I mean, look, what's better than having 1 great running back? Having 2. And what are we talking about with Jordan this year when she was on the show with us? Red zone efficiency. Look, if you can run the ball in the red zone, you're going to score more. If you got 2 backs that can score from 10 yards out, then, look, everything goes up. Matthew Stafford's more protected. Everybody wins more football games. So I hope he's able to solidify that backup role to Kiren and then at some point push for a starting job.
And the best version of Sean McVay's offense was possibly the Todd Gurley years when he was operating at his height. I think the best version of a Sean McVay offense is something that has a great running game, which I think we saw last year when Kiren was out there, is that was their best games they played. And when Kiren wasn't there, they couldn't get the same offensive efficiency. So I think that is a big part of unlocking Sean McVay's idea of what a team could be.
At pick number 99, I think there's a lot of rich depth to this pick. Cam Kinchens, the safety out of Miami, and he may not make a week 1 impact. He may not make a year 1 impact. We shall see. But I like it because this was the compensatory pick the Rams got when Raheem Morris was hired to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. This was the pick that is mentioned in the company of Sean Taylor and Ed Reed because over the last 25 years, according to The Athletic, 3 Miami players compiled double-digit interceptions in their careers. Cam Kitchens, Sean Taylor, and Ed Reed. Cam led the ACC in picks as both a sophomore and a junior. So when you talk about a defense that's trying to get more ball hawkish, I think that was the thought with Kitchens.
A safety from Miami? That's about as welcome
worse,
as a
right?
defensive end from Florida State. Absolutely.
Right. Grab a tight end out of Iowa.
Sure. Yes.
Offensive lineman from Wisconsin.
A guard from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Perfect. It
D-tackle
fits.
from Alabama, Georgia, if you can find one.
That slightly green banana when you go shop. Okay, I'm not going to play it right now, but give it 3 days and it's perfect.
Sure.
Same thing. I mean, I just watched John Johnson III walk off the field. Look, he's going to play major snaps. Offense. Who are your safeties right now when you think about it? I was asking Jordan that.
I think Cam Curl because of the acquisition and free agency.
Quentin Lake.
We'll see where Quentin Lake plays. I think he's probably your second starter at safety, but he has so much versatility to go down in the box and to play in the star position.
Yeah.
That, if you feel like your third safety is as good or better than your third corner, then maybe you lean towards nickel with Quentin and play more safeties.
When do you get to Kitchens in that? That's what I mean.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, just let him sit, let him learn, and by the time he's ready to play, it'll be obvious.
And
then
he's
boom.
making an impact on teams if he's got a helmet on.
Yes.
This next pick, round 5, 154 overall, Brennan Jackson out of Washington State. He's from the area. He's born in Ohio but grew up in Temecula. And my question for you to Marco with respect to Brennan is, he was regarded as having like the second highest toughness grade behind Fisk in this class for the Rams. And my question to you is like, how do you measure toughness as an evaluator? And when you talk about culture and grit and toughness, why do the Rams feel like they have so much more of it right now than at any point that I can remember in franchise history?
Snaps, games played, and you got to do some scouting. How many practices has he missed? How many times has he hit the training room?
Gotcha.
All that stuff. I mean, the guy shows up, he practices, he goes home.
So you get a sense of the callus he's built up in college.
Do you have medical reports on such and such? No. Or you give him one page. That's how you measure toughness. And he's always out there. And he's making plays. If you stay on the field, I don't care what your level is. If I start at ground zero with a player and I keep him on the field, you're physically able to stay on the field every single rep, every single day for every single practice and games, you're going to get better. That's how you measure toughness. How many times you see that guy on the film? He's out there all the time.
And I'll close out with 3 6-round picks who are all going to assuredly make this team. And that's not something that you typically say in July about 6-round picks, right? Like day 3 selections are often a coin flip. But there's no question to me that Tyler Davis, a multi-year starter at Clemson, is part of the interior rotation for this Rams defense. There's no question to me that Joshua Carty, the kicker from Stanford, is going to be the day 1 kicker for the Los Angeles Rams. And there's no question to me, after releasing Ben Skoranek, that Jordan Whittington, the receiver out of Texas, described as the Longhorns' heartbeat, is going to have a role on offense and on special teams for the Rams this season.
I feel like when you're talking about a rookie place kicker, like you're investing in stock, and you hope.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You hope. Please.
I just hope that we're not waking up every Monday morning to check it like a stock. Like, how do the markets open today?
Well, every Sunday we're going to check. Every Sunday we're going to – that's what I mean. Like when you
Let's
start –
get off that roller coaster.
When you start getting into that, it is a roller coaster. You start bringing guys in and you roll guys through, and you're never officially settled, and that just disrupts everything. So I'm hoping beyond all hope, everybody we talked about, let that guy be as solid as anyone they've drafted this year.
A cool breeze rolling in on the marine layer deep in this Saturday afternoon here at Rams Camp with DeMarco Farr and with Emily. I'm JB. Glad you're with us. Hope you're having a safe and enjoyable Saturday afternoon. We've still got 30 minutes of Rams talk to go. So much more to get to as we count down to Detroit, Week 1. 43 days away, and it's our Rams training camp special live from LMU on your home for Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Clear.
The Rams training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JP Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
Don't miss Trav and Slee.
Back Monday morning at 10 a.m.
It's the Mid-Morning Spectacular.
Goobers were a movie theater snack that you could get when I was a kid. They're just chocolate-covered peanuts, but they're called Goobers. And they had Goobers at the movie that Slee and I went to last night.
I didn't have much.
I gave a few to Deshay, and I ate the rest of the box.
Yeah, I was like, Trav, look, I've been eating well lately. He's like, no, absolutely. And then he's just taking down the box.
Trav and Slee, weekdays after Unsportsmanlike.
On 710 ESPN.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installations with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something
Outside
is
and inside?
on
That's got to
fleek,
be all
it's
just
exactly
inside.
like saying,
30th.
that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to
All
speak
the way.
teen to be a perfect
All the
parent.
way.
Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back in 30.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Really? Is that when it starts?
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams training camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights of Farr and J.B. Long.
Hope you're having a great Saturday, everyone. Thank you for spending part of it with us. DeMarco Farr and J.B. Long now at a breezy and cool LMU. As the field has cleared, the Rams with their first week in the books, a day off tomorrow, Shells on Monday.
Yes, should have brought the hoodie, man. It's getting a little chilly out here. I like it. Like I said, you don't have to worry about overheating. You can practice out here. I'd like to see you do that right there, JB.
Tell
jugs
us more.
machine. The jugs machine.
What kind of miles per hour do you think it's spitting out right now?
Depends. 60? That's on the low end for guys. 60 miles an hour. You versus Cap in a jugs machine contest. I'm taking JB.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm taking JB. Come on.
Cap wouldn't know what to do with jugs. Let's be serious.
I love it. I love it.
On the other end, by the way, is Charles Woods, a defensive back undrafted out of SMU. You talk about defensive backs who could make this roster as an undrafted option, especially with the depleted depth the Rams have experienced in this first week. Keep your eye out on Woods. And then there's another one, Josh Wallace, a defensive back from Michigan, who Sean McVay name-dropped yesterday after practice. Always curious to see who can make it as an undrafted. And, of course, I'm talking to one of the great undrafted players in Rams history, DeMarco Farr.
See, I used to always wonder or just worry, whatever happens in practice, especially when you're at the bottom of the depth chart, when you're an undrafted guy, you're not going to get as many reps as drafted guys or veterans. So you can go through 2.5 hours of practice and get your reps in, come off. You're not tired. You feel pretty good. But did you really work on your game? Did you get all you needed from that 2.5 hours to make yourself better? So sometimes you got to stick around after to work on your stuff to make myself better. So the next day, when I do get reps, I'm that much better. You have to be more invested in your making yourself better than your coach is making you better.
Because Sean McVay and the coaching staff, they're not designing these 90 minutes, 2 hours for your benefit, for your development. They're trying to get their team schematically ready.
Absolutely.
For a week, right?
And you're going to have to work on – if you don't work on your craft, this is a perishable skill. So if you don't go out and get your touches, or if you're a receiver and you don't get many passes from the quarterback, you better come out here and work on your hands right here when no one else is around. Because when you get your ops, you're going to have to maximize everything you get.
It's been a great day here at Rams camp. We just chatted with Kiren Williams. Let's circle back to one of the topics we started with, which is the New shape of the quarterback compensation market. And I'll lean on our friend Rich Eisen here for a bit of context here, DeMarco, who lists the new top 8 quarterbacks by annual compensation in the NFL. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, now tops that list at $55 million. Trevor Lawrence, likewise, Joe Burrow, also in the $55 million club. Tua Tagovailoa just a touch underneath that, $53.1. Jared Goff at $53 even. Herbert, $52.5. Lamar, $52, and Hurts, $51. Okay, so there's the top 8. But it's more than that. As Rich points out, their combined playoff record, 1 game under 500. Combined Super Bowl appearances for those 8 men, only 3, and rings, 0.
Oof.
So they are paying record-setting compensation, all 8 more than $50 million per year. And I get it, the salary cap continues to grow. But no rings for that top 8 group. In his words, praying and hoping.
It defies belief. It doesn't look right that Jordan Love is at the top of that list. I mean, if you could pick any quarterback in the NFL to start your team, your whatever team, you probably don't pick him. You'd probably pick 20 guys before you get to Jordan Love, right? But he's being paid the most. That's just the way the business is right now.
The name conspicuously absent from that list? Patrick Mahomes.
Right. That's what I mean. I know.
Mean, you could give that guy $100 million and it wouldn't feel like too much.
It's like LeBron James, you know?
Yeah,
you can't ever pay LeBron James what he's actually worth. And that's why the Chiefs kind of did a good job of locking up Patrick Mahomes early. At the time that Patrick Mahomes made his deal, it looked outrageous.
Sure.
But now it's almost like they have a deal on him, which is it's just so crazy to think about. But yeah, they had to lock him up really early because they knew that it'd only get bigger and bigger, which means that they could build around him. But yeah, that's
if he three-peats, right? I wonder if he's like too good because like you get 3 Super Bowls in a row after you've made history, and he comes to you and says, "I want more money." No.
They're not going to say.
We got 3. You gave me 3 already. Thank you, but no.
But to Emily's point, I think also coming in at a discount right now, I think the Rams feel good about Matthew Stafford's compensation, adjusted though it may be going into this 2024 season. Like return on investment, who's getting more this side of Kansas City than the Los Angeles Rams for their quarterback play?
See, that's the thing. I would love to have that conversation with him, and it won't happen on air because it's private. But I understand you're Matthew Stafford, and you're looking at Jordan Love and the money he's making and the money you're making, and you have Rams execs, and you're saying there's no way in the world you think that guy's better than me, right? But I'm being paid here, and he's being paid there, and they're trying to explain how this guy got to there, but it still ain't making sense because this guy's making this much money, and I'm making this much money.
You know what especially doesn't make sense is where the Packers were and where Jordan Love was when we made our most recent trip to Lambeau. Like that is what I just cannot wrap my mind around. He was arguably, and they were the worst in the NFL. Like he had some of the worst starting quarterback statistics in Week 9 when we traveled to Lambeau Field. The Packers could not score. Like
they were bad.
Matt LaFleur was
not
saying
week
we
2.
No,
this
they
is
were
middle of the
bad.
season.
Yes.
And Matt LaFleur, their head coach, and their play caller is saying like we are completely lost right now.
Yes.
And I am so sick of being the Packers get right game.
Right. A lot of things happened. The Rams went on a run, and so did Green Bay.
Sure.
But you have to say this: no matter what he's making, Jordan Love did get a lot better towards the end of the year.
Nothing but respect for his improvement. I just wish that inflection point was not a win over Brett Rippon and the Los Angeles Rams. You know what I mean?
That game was painful.
Yeah.
If when
they're going to make a movie about that game.
When we landed in Green Bay, okay?
Yeah.
Wheels down. If I had told you on that Saturday night, I said, you get to pick, DeMarco. Is it more likely that the Packers have a new starting quarterback next year, or that they shell out $55 million per for Love services the rest of the way?
I wouldn't have let you finish.
Yeah. I said yes.
Come on.
It's like choice A, right? And here we are. It's
I would have cut you off at the bar.
It's not just him either.
Is it the idea that, you'd rather have the devil you know than devil you don't? You'd rather not be in a 49er situation where you think you're going to get Trey Lance and then it's a bust, Would you rather have Jordan Love than have the ups and downs of what a draft might be? Or
that's the other part. Yes, yeah. I'd rather have those. I mean, that's the going rate for quarterbacks, and they're all good. They just haven't won yet, and there's no way you can just cut bait on them.
And the one-to-one trade that the Rams and the Lions did comes out once in a generation, I feel like, at this point in time. Like, you have to have both teams agreeing that this guy just isn't getting us over whatever hump that we need to get. And it's just it has to have a lot of respect. So a lot of teams don't have that ability. But just seeing those names listed, like Trevor Lawrence of all people too, it's like, what are we doing?
I'll say this to add a word to what he said. Like, how many rings? 0. Put yet. One of those guys is going to win. One of those guys is going to win multiple Super Bowls at some point.
Maybe not while Mahomes is around, because you know who else isn't on this list is Josh Allen.
Yep.
And he deserves to be on that list, and he probably deserves to have a ring around his finger too, except for one other human being walking the planet at his position.
No doubt. You're out on Trevor Lawrence? No?
I'm not like.
Wow, you just look like you bit a lemon.
I know exactly who he is, though. He's not going to win more than 2 playoff games in a year. I think he's going to. That's his max, which is okay. That's fine. We know exactly who Trevor Lawrence is. He should not be the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
He's not even the best quarterback in his division anymore.
Exactly.
But to me, like you said, he's not going to win more than 2 playoff games
in a year.
Okay, so we've been to the bottom when you're just fighting for the cellar.
Yeah.
I would pay that.
Yeah.
For that opportunity every year. I would. That's a small price to pay if you told me we would have a guaranteed 2 playoff games a year.
Okay.
That with this guy,
but that's not even guaranteed. I think that's his max.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I also think from this list I was looking at when you were saying it is, who do you think wins a Super Bowl first? Is it Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert? Just talking about what the Chargers now have with their new head coach, and Jim Harbaugh, every time he gets to a league, it changes drastically and very quickly. So if we had to choose Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, who would you choose?
Wow. I don't think Herbert's even next on that list.
Yeah?
I mean, I'll just go AFC only. I would say Lawrence is closer. Burrow's clearly closer. He's already been to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Tua's got rocket fuel in his ship. He could get there all they need is to win that division and make sure they get a home game, not an ice bowl.
Not to travel anywhere.
And I would clearly pick Lamar Jackson over Herbert.
Still got it, yeah.
So you're not talking about the top 2 in Mahomes and Allen. You're just looking at other AFC quarterbacks who have better chances in their current circumstances.
I just
Herbert.
think that you've been credited for this, and Travis brings it up all the time, and that's the CQI that you've mentioned, the Coach Quarterback Index.
Quarterback Index.
And who was the better Coach Quarterback Index or Coach Quarterback connection than potentially Herbert and Harbaugh? I mean, I guess Jackson and Harbaugh are up there, but they also just never they didn't score at all in that AFC Championship game. They had 10 points. That was 10-17 was the end of the game. They were the highest scoring offenses.
Lamar didn't play that well, right? Lamar didn't play that
well. Because that's the pattern every time he gets to the playoffs, is he doesn't play that well. He got to the AFC Championship game and they didn't do it. So I am a believe it when I see it with Lamar Jackson, and I haven't seen it yet. And also I'm a Steelers fan, so that also adds it and all this stuff.
I thought about last night, too. It's not just the connection that the Rams had to Love's turnaround this season, but do you remember Tua Tagovailoa's?
Yeah. Was that the Jared game?
In Miami.
Yes, in Miami. He wasn't very good.
When the Dolphins basically realized, okay, it started, but we're not winning this game on offense. And it was probably the most painful loss of my Rams tenure. I don't know how you felt, but if
perception changed that day.
Yeah, exactly. If there was a beginning to the end of Jared Goff's tenure here, that was probably it for me, because from the moment Tua took that first snap and dropped back and met Aaron Donald, you knew the Dolphins were not winning that game on offense, and that was with Jalen Ramsey sidelined by an illness, if I remember as well.
Correct.
The Rams had every reason to win that game, and instead Brian Flores in that zero blitz just chopped them up.
Yeah, with, like you said, Miami is built. They have jet fuel there, and all you have – who mentioned Terry Bradshaw? Was that Maurice?
Yeah, we were talking about him with Hall of Fame quarterback.
Just be the trigger man in Miami. Like you said, get a home game and look out with that football team.
And stay on your feet.
Yes, and stay on your feet.
And I think there's an argument for Tua being the style of quarterback that McDaniel wants, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense in that scheme.
Correct.
You got to have someone who can scoot a little bit, and other than like Kyler, who really obviously out there right now, could you get.
Perfect for that offense.
Right.
Yes.
All right, one more segment to cover. Final thoughts still to come. It has been a spectacular day here at Rams camp at LMU. Hope you can come out and join us at some point in the next week. The Rams run here in Westchester through next Saturday. Then they'll have their first of, 4 joint practices, right? 2 against the Chargers, 1 in Oxnard against the Cowboys, and 1 in Houston against the Texans.
Easy, Harbaugh. This is the pros. Easy, Harbaugh. This is the pros. Just saying.
He's done it before.
It'll be
the Saints spring ball.
He
Come on.
did it before. It's not his first rodeo.
That's Emily. He's DeMarco. I'm JB. Final thoughts from Rams camp coming up on your home for Rams football 710 ESPN.
Clear.
Rams training camp special for your Saturday, July 27th with JB Long and DeMarco Farr on your home of Rams football 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon drive.
The fun way to drive home on 710.
Oh, wow, man. He, as a wrestler, dude, how long has it been since he's wrestled? Because this guy's
Dave Bautista's been
20 years.
dude, he's 55 years old.
Yeah.
But, man, back in the day, dude, he was all sauced out of his face.
He was great. And then he had, the falling out with them, and then they weren't going to let him in the Hall of Fame, and it was a whole thing. And then,
oh, my God. If you could guarantee, man, I could have that body, I'll take every steroid he took.
The LA Afternoon Takeover with Sedano and Cap. Monday at 4 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Visit angels.com/ticket plans or call 888-796-HALO to buy the ticket package that's best for you. Pick the games you want and don't miss out on great seats at the best price. Visit angels.com/ticket plans or call 888-796-HALO.
Hey guys, it's Sedano here. You know it's hard to find a good dentist for your kids, someone who they can trust and enjoy going to the dentist with. Luckily, we found Children's Dental Fun Zone with 17 locations across Southern California. Dental Fun Zone specializes in children's dentistry.
Hey, JB.
Equipment and personal attention.
Hi. So we have a hard out at 5710. Did you want me to count you down? Give you a 60, a 30?
Sure.
717.
What works for you?
Yeah, I think 1 minute, 30, and then maybe down
And a
from 10.
Okay, cool. I will do that.
Whatever comes out is fine.
Phone
We'll roll with
calls.
Okay,
5710
cool.
says is our hard out.
Yep.
Great.
And I found myself in another cold cemetery. And I started to wonder if I was next. It's a struggle to know that you're facing challenges, but not be ready to face them. Sleep doesn't come easy.
This is
and
our,
when it comes,
our
it doesn't
first
last
Peter
long.
Kingless year,
You're tired
right?
all
wow.
the time.
Who steps up for him?
I didn't reach out for that help.
Who would be the next guy
Thank
for
God
you?
my wife did.
The Peter King.
She got me
Albert
registered
Breer?
for Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah, I guess so. He'd be
Talking
the
to
most senior
somebody
guy, wouldn't he?
that would listen to me and understood my story.
I mean, he's in the list.
Helped me
He's in the
realize
queue.
that It was
Yeah.
time to change.
Keep writing, kid.
Hey, DeMarco.
Yes.
How was dinner last night after I saw you and Laura?
Fantastic. Oh my
Yeah?
God. Yes, that
Did you get a steak?
No, they gave me a mushroom steak.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so good. So
Did you
good.
know
They were
that
so good.
insects
And that
send
mandala
tons
was
of people
awesome.
to the hospital?
You like tequila?
Teeny ticks.
Okay, I'm going to get some bottles of this mandala. You're going to love it.
Their bites can make people. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do
Sippy.
not want them to
Sippy.
visit.
Oh.
They can spread disease and
Like
make it hard to
cognac.
breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
The most followed.
Back in 15.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
And yes, what better way to spend a Saturday than the Rams training camp special? On your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN, we head back to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, the practice field, with all the sights and sounds. Back to DeMar
Up and on.
and JB Long.
Well, DeFar, as you know, this is my neck of the woods, and this is kind of how we finish days here in Westchester.
Right here, huh? Yes, sir. Nice breeze.
Not that much different from your neck of the woods either.
No, we go watch the sunset every chance we get. Yeah.
My boys were actually hoping to go watch the sunset. They wanted to get takeout and go to the beach and watch the sunset tonight. I'll be the bearer of bad news if I tell them it's fogged in.
Look at you. You're doing it right. They want to go watch the sunset? Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Not watch screens, not watch iPads.
Oh, they want to watch screens. They probably watch 9 hours of Olympic coverage so far today.
Hey, but at least it's
I'll
Olympics.
pry them away.
Love it. I haven't kept up with the Olympics at all. How are we doing? Emily, yeah.
I watched a couple of events this morning. I watched a couple of events while we were doing our prep work and stuff. Swimming, we won the men's 4x100 relay.
All
So that's
right.
great. Australia's got ahead of us in some stuff. We're doing pretty good. We're doing okay.
Nice.
First day of events, and so we got some medals on the board. We had some exciting sand volleyball, beach volleyball competition. So all over the place. Pretty good day for Team USA.
Our friend Carlo asked me before the show, and so I want to turn it around to you. If you could win a gold medal in any summer sport, Olympic sport, would it be water polo? I know you've got a background in it.
I would love to win Olympic gold for water polo, but I think, honestly, the coolest one to win would be an individual swimming event, like a 100 butterfly, because you get all the glory to yourself, and you get to be like the Michael Phelps and just splash the water like, yes!
Oh, Emily, I didn't know you were like that.
No, I want the glory all for Emily.
Nice.
I like
That's
it.
side of you.
Yeah.
I was a 100 fly in high school, so.
Yeah, me.
In another life, if you could be an Olympian?
I think I'm attracted to the 100. The fastest man in the
Sprinter?
world. Yeah, oh my God. Just when they cross the finish line first and that the way they look, they're out in front and they just sprint half the stadium. Just that seems cool.
And saying you're the fastest man on earth.
Yes.
Is the coolest way to describe
There's
you.
no doubt.
Yeah.
You're back there. I'm up here. That's
Did
what
you
I'm talking
watch Sprint?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think?
Okay, just like we're talking about receiver. I wound up liking what's his name? George Kittle. My perspective changed for Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole series was like awesome. I became a fan of hers after watching Sprint on Netflix. It was awesome.
She's got a cool story, and she knows who she is, and I think that's really great.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that photo of LeBron?
Wow.
Leading across the Delaware.
Yes.
I mean, that was spectacular, wasn't it?
Fantastic. Yes. Yes.
Another indelible moment.
There's a lot of good things out there. Yes, sir.
I went with golf, by the way. That was my answer. Now that golf is an Olympic sport again.
Yeah.
Tennis would be cool, too, but the thing about golf and tennis is there's other high water marks in the sport, right?
Yeah.
It's not the epitome of the sport.
Yeah, it's like winning Olympic soccer. It's like, okay, but the World Cup is the
there's
one,
something bigger.
Yeah, like
Whereas
you'd rather, yeah.
You come away with an Olympic gold medal in swimming or sprinting, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
There's nothing higher.
But if you walk into Augusta with a gold medal, I mean, they're gonna give you a table.
Well, I was more thinking like of all the hours that you had to put in, at least they would be more enjoyable, in my estimation, than head down in a pool for months on end training for the 100 butterfly.
You just go to beautiful golf courses all around the world and train up,
And I imagine, to DeMarco's point, if you have an Olympic gold medal around your neck, there's not a country club in the world that won't have you by for a quick 18.
That's what I'm saying. See, it opens doors.
And I think your pick is good because you're considering what skill you want to gain.
That's right.
What the best version of your
Lifelong
skill. It's like, if DeMarco's just running down the field because he's so fast.
Of course.
I mean, that's also pretty cool.
That's what I used to think. JB Long, 8-foot putt, Cinderella story.
Keep
for the
going.
gold. Got it.
Nicely done.
I can't wait for the Olympics to be here in 2028.
Yes.
SoFi is going to host swimming, which I saw because, for the Olympic trials, if you didn't see, they transformed the Indianapolis Colts Stadium into the Olympic trial pool. They had two pools, put it in the Lucas Oil, and that's what they had it. So I know that they're going to transform SoFi into the Olympic swimming facility, which is going to be really cool to see.
So, question off of that. What will the Rams summer look like in the summer of 2028? Do they have to get out of Dodge?
You're going to have to. Where are you going to play? Your stadium is a pool.
This city will be a zoo.
Yes, absolutely.
In every way imaginable.
It'll be done by the beginning of September. So technically they could host a home game week 1, but they probably not ideal.
My guess is they are... We'll probably be with just 2 preseason games by that point. We'll probably be 2 and 18, don't you think?
Yeah.
So you probably just play 2 off-site games preseason, and maybe the league sends you on the road for a road opener week 1, 2, and then the dust has settled.
Or you, as the Rams, just get completely out of LA.
Maybe that's your we go to Australia.
I was thinking 3 weeks in London. See?
Yeah.
See?
Or you take it to a different, Palm Springs. I know that's too hot, but another place in the United States where you could host a training camp.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, though. I can't wait.
Thankfully, not a ton of news coming out of today's workout. Sean McVay did confirm that Darius Williams has a hamstring strain. So 2 notable injuries in the Rams secondary in the opening week of training camp. Darion Kent play in 24. I mean, really first full go of the summer, and he tears his ACL. That hurts. Darius Williams, back for his second stint as a Ram after some time in Jacksonville, will be on the mend. Hopefully, they put him on a timeline that allows him to be ready to go for Week 1 against the Detroit Lions. This has been a nice scene setter for me, anticipating Rams All Access this season.
Yeah. Going to be fun, right?
Coming back with another go-round?
Absolutely. Come on. This is going to be a ride. This is the, like
More
we
often
said,
not Thursday nights here on 710 ESPN.
This is going to be the Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame run. And I love those type of seasons when you got a quarterback that's playing for something bigger than himself. You know what I'm saying? This is about legacy. This is about everything. So you're going to get everything. This is going to be a fun football season this year.
But he has the offense around him where nothing is certain in this sport, but you feel like every opportunity is there to capitalize, right? It's not all it may be framed around him, but he has every opportunity to believe that this might be the best offensive line he's played behind.
Yes.
For a guy who's played with Megatron, this is maybe one of the better receiving cores he's thrown the football to. What was the stat? Boy, I can't remember it. Like, he had never had like a 100-yard rusher.
Something like that.
Lions. Remember it? Like,
yes. Poor guy.
It's in that vicinity.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's got the most bona fide rushing attack he's ever had as a pro. So there's a lot of things working for him, even in his, age 37 season.
I think we're in for something special. And then when you couple, what is that stat you said, quarterback and head coach? What do you call
QBI?
it? QBI. And when you factor in, you've got a recharge. CQI.
Coach Quarterback Index.
A recharged and motivated and yoked up Sean McVay. That's what I'm saying.
That was a good line Cooper gave you the other day. DeMarco was asking Cooper, who got more buff this offseason, basically, you or your head coach? And what did he say?
He wears small shirts.
He wears small shirts. He's got such
mediums.
a great dry humor.
That's how you know you got money in the bank, where you can make fun of your head coach.
Him, too. I really want Cooper to have a really good season.
Are you buying into the comeback tour?
I really want it to happen. I don't know if I want it in my heart more than I know if I'm going to see it on the field because of the last 2 seasons that we saw with him. And it's because of injury. It wasn't because his lack of trying. But I want to see 2021 Cooper Kupp again. And I think that coupled with Puka, it's going to be hard to defend.
Yeah, we all know that the odds are we'll never see 21 Triple Crown Cooper Kupp again because that was fairly unprecedented. But I'm with you in terms of watching his film this offseason. I became more bullish, more optimistic.
1 minute.
That so long as he is working with Sean and with Matthew, he's got a lot of credit for it.
Yes, and they love finding ways to get him the football. He's going to get it. He is going to get his touches. He's going to get his targets, and it's going to be in a spot where the defense is most vulnerable. So as long as he stays healthy and everything else that we said pans out, the O-line stays together, Kiren is running, and Matthew Stafford's playing like gangbusters, I think Cooper and Puka Nacua could have a fantastic season together.
What do you think, Emily? Should we do it again? Probably not next Saturday, but it's not
again. Yeah.
It's not heck no, never again, is it?
No, never again. Yeah, next Saturday is going to be DeMarco, I believe, with Mason.
Yeah.
Great.
So that'll be fun, and we'll have a great time. Another beautiful day
10
here
seconds.
at LMU.
I'll close by conceding that Cap could more easily do what I do than I could ever do what he does.
Wow.
For Emily, for DeMarco, I'm JB Long. Thank you for being with us.